That's good.
All right, man. First off, congrats on 70K subs, dude. I saw that you just hit that.
Yeah, it's a real accomplishment. I sometimes kind of look at myself as like this, just some guy that talks about basketball, but you know, it's still like I realize that's a really big deal. Like people don't even get to half as many, and sometimes I just look like a lot of other YouTubers, and I'm like, man, maybe I'm not that good. But then I realize, like in the grand scheme of things, 70K it's a big accomplishment.
Yeah, and your bio for your channel is very, very specific. It really just reads, "I really, really like basketball." Period.
Yeah, because it's true. I've been a basketball fan like my whole life, essentially. I just really, really love the sport.
Yeah, dude. The reason I found out about your channel was so I'm a Knicks fan, which is like maybe the saddest franchise to root for in the NBA. My whole life, legitimately, my whole life they've been terrible. But I saw your video on Julius Randle on how like he tricked the NBA or something. I think that was what it was titled. And
Yeah.
I was like, this is a good video. I like this fucking video.
Yeah, I know Knicks fans have like turned on him over the last year or so. I mean, Julius Randle is not a bad player. I think he's just not a number one option. He's not a good leader either, in my opinion. He just has a lot of like bad like body language a lot. And he's actually been playing a lot better lately, but they've still been losing, and they've been even losing a lot worse. Like they've been blowing a lot of leads
Dude,
lately.
this team they're not a 4-quarter team in terms of like, yeah, they can put it on maybe for a half, maybe even 3 quarters, but there's going to be a quarter. It's usually at a halftime, the third quarter, where they're done, they're dead in the water, and even when they have a lead, you just expect the shoe to drop and them losing. I gotta admit though, when the Knicks were having that really big season last year, I wasn't as high on Randall as everyone else was because there was people talking about how, oh, this is the greatest season a Nick has had since like say Patrick Ewing they were bringing up, and I'm over here like, does no one remember when Melo won the fucking scoring title? Like less than 10 years ago, like, and people were comparing Randall as if, oh, he's the best superstar to come here since it's like, dude, Melo is a better player than Julius Randle. Like
The facts, he is without a doubt.
So I was just like, my head hurt when I was listening to that shit. And also, what you were saying, his body language. When I saw the year that they were the number 4 seed, they played the Nets later in the season, and Randall had the ball near one of the last possessions, and I think it was stripped away from him. I think it was Kyrie that stripped the ball. And, he was getting mad at the refs and he was throwing chairs around. And I went to myself, I'm like, damn, man, I gotta admit, even with all the wins this team has, this is not the most likable team in the NBA. And Randall also was turnover prone, and he has been this year as well without the efficiency that he had last year.
Yeah, that's true. Because like, I think the one thing with Randall that like bothers me is that like, he's not very like he feels very entitled now. If you look at like the way he plays, like he takes a lot of bad shots. I remember seeing the clip. I don't know if you've seen it, but there's like a clip you could find online of him. He had like a really bad game, and in the middle of the game, somebody on the sideline, it looked like an assistant or something. They had like a laptop and they were trying to talk to him about like I guess the game and what he should be doing better. And instead of, just sitting there and like understanding like this is just advice, he like shoved them away and like confronted him and got in his face. And, this is stuff that happens like every game. Like I remember once at halftime, he was shooting like terrible and he finished the game like 1 for 9. And Fournier was trying to console him.
Yeah.
And he just like brushed aside Evan Fournier. And I just remember thinking like, when they lose and he has a great game, he never acts like that, But even like when they win and he has a bad game, you can visibly see him not happy. And I get it. You're not supposed to be happy if you have a bad game. Or let me not even say that. Like if you win, I genuinely think like, who cares? That should be the attitude of anybody. Like who cares if you win? Because the goal is to win. And if you're a great player, like a bad game is bound to happen to anybody. Like, who cares if you just have it on occasion? But his approach is just, it's so selfish to me. And like, he's not humble to take like correction from anybody. And being in New York and having that New York media, being that star last year for them, it might have been a bad thing as far as like his attitude and approach to the game. And I remember hearing that about Melo. Chauncey Billups said the same thing about him. He's happy when he drops 30 and they lose, but he's mad when he drops 20 and they win. And that's the same thing with Julius Randle, in my opinion. And he's not even as good as Melo. I don't know where that came from.
Dude, Melo. I think Melo was voted in as a top 75 player or whatever, the all 75 team or whatever. So he's going to go in the Hall of Fame when his career's over. He's one of the greatest scorers. I think he's 9th in scoring points or whatever. Like,
yeah.
I think people were just. I think I'm the only one actually that compared him to Melo, because people acted as if Melo didn't exist last year when the Knicks were winning all these games. I hate to I hate to be the guy to like bash the best player on the team as if it's your fault. It's no one else's. I don't want to say that, but I wonder if with
I know what you mean.
Yeah, because it just seems like a cop out. It's almost as if like you don't know the other 12 or 13 players or whatever. But with Randle, I wonder if he was never an outstanding player in the beginning of his career. Like, I think his rookie season, he played with Kobe also during Kobe's last year. And
I think in his like official rookie year, he got hurt, because I know he got hurt. He missed like a full season, or damn near, like in the first game he got injured and he missed like the whole year. And then like his second year, which technically it's his second year, but you know, if something like that happens, that's almost your first year.
Yeah, the NBA
honest.
also, I think, counts it, because I remember Blake Griffin won Rookie of the Year when it was his second year in the league because he got hurt his rookie year.
Oh no, it's even different with Randle, because Randle played like 10 minutes and then got hurt in his rookie year. Geez. So technically it was his rookie year, but you know, whatever. It is what it is. It's kind of like the Patrick Mahomes type thing, I guess. But Mahomes didn't get hurt. It's just like,
it's like a red shirt year almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing with Randle, so even his first year with the Knicks wasn't that great, and a lot of fans were kind of like, all right, there we go. Another guy comes here and he stinks. And then everyone talked about how much he trained during the offseason. He even got bigger, like muscular wise. He got some more weight on him, and he had that outstanding year. And I never want to get someone just got an important update, and I don't.
Yeah, I did. My fault.
No, dude, I'm gonna throw that phone out the goddamn window. What's it called?
My fault.
I wonder if I never want to get into a player's head. I feel like with 24/7 sports media, everyone gets in players' heads as if they're fucking junior psychologist or whatever. But I wonder, I wonder if he put in a ton of work and he had a great year, and in a way he kind of thought, that's all I have to do. Where it's like, no, you're gonna have to really put in all that work you did that one off season for the next 10 plus off seasons of your career to keep at that high level. You can't just like put in a ton of work during the off season, have that one great season, and then just be like, all right, cool, I'll just coast it and I'll always be this good until my body starts to deteriorate.
Yeah, I think I agree. Because like he hasn't gotten any better from the last year.
No.
And even if you watch Randle, like Randle is the type of guy that I think that like, because he was so successful, like at a certain year, he just gets complacent until it's time for him to put in the work. Like I remember in New Orleans, same thing happened. Like, because people forget the Lakers let him go. Like the Lakers didn't trade him. They just let him walk because they wanted to sign LeBron, and they had a plan with Lonzo, Ingram, Josh Hart, Kuzma, all those guys. And they didn't even trade him. Like they just let him go for nothing. And that's kind of like a huge wake-up call, especially for someone on their rookie contract. That just shows they gave up on you. Like they don't even think you're worth trading for to get assets. So that probably was like a big wake-up call. And I remember the next year, he balled out with the Pelicans. Granted, the Pelicans weren't that good. That was the year Anthony Davis demanded a trade and everything, that whole situation.
Yeah.
But I remember he balled out. He averaged like 20 something. And that's why he got that contract with the Knicks. And then what happens the next year after he gets paid? He doesn't really play that well the first year in New York. And then like there's talks about like a contract extension and all that. And he balls out last year, and then he gets paid. And now look at him. Now he's playing bad again. This is like a pattern. Like whenever he's on like a contract year or time for a contract extension, he balls out. But then as soon as he gets that, it's over. Like he goes back to being normal. And it shows a lack of real, I don't want to say lack of hard work, because he puts in the work when he has to, but it's a lack of drive, and because like you can't tell a lot of stars in the NBA, oh, now you've been paid. Like, what's next? They're going to be like, oh, I'm trying to win a championship. I'm trying to still get better. That's the next goal. You look like, I know this is the extreme, but look at LeBron. LeBron has succeeded year in and year out, whether winning a championship, getting to the finals, winning MVPs, but he's still in the gym spending millions of dollars on his body because he knows the league doesn't stop for anybody. You got to keep getting better every day. And I don't think Julius Randle realizes that. He's in it to be as good. I think he's in it to be good enough and not to be the best. And that's the problem with Julius Randle, in my opinion.
It's a problem with being a Knicks fan as well. It's tiring. It's so tiring. I mean, this fan, dude, like, I don't know if you're from like the tri-state area at all or in the New York area or anything, but like if the Knicks won a championship, if they were just, or if they just had a team that was making a run, this area in the world would explode. I think more so than if the Giants were to win another Super Bowl or the Jets, or if let's see, like even if like the Mets or the Yankees, I think this. I mean, it's been since the 70s since they won. I mean, how
was it when the Giants won?
I was a kid and then a teenager when the Giants won, and at that time, I'm living in New Jersey, so it was big. But realize one thing in New Jersey, especially once you start getting to Central and South, you start getting a lot of fucking Eagles fans.
Oh, in New Jersey?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I thought New Jersey would be like a Jets state. It's not a Jets territory,
dude. So like, if you're heading to Philly but you're still in New Jersey, you'll start passing Dunkin' Donuts that will say the official coffee of the Philadelphia Eagles while still in New Jersey. Yeah, dude, while still in New Jersey. It's like, it's in my mind, I'm like, dude, can you wait till I get out of the goddamn state for this? Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
And y'all are rivals, right? The Giants and the Eagles.
Oh my god, yeah. And dude, that's the thing. I think I talked about this with I had this dude John on. He was a big NFL guy, and we were talking about like teams, like fan bases I hated, and the Cowboys are in the Giants division, so a lot of older Giants fans hate Cowboys fans. Dude, I fucking hate Eagles fans because they were good when I was young. They were really good. And then they just won a championship. So yeah,
yeah. Now I understand the Eagles. I was growing up. I will say this. I mean, I'm a Steelers fan, so the teams I hated I hated the Patriots, obviously. I hated I didn't really hate the Browns until recently when they started, like when they actually beat us. But the teams I hated growing up were the Patriots, the Bengals. And I'm forgetting someone. Patriots, Bengals, Ravens. I hated the Ravens growing up as well. But the Giants.
Hold on.
What's up?
Who the fuck hates the Bengals?
Well, that's the thing.
I hated
the Bengals
fan, though, right? You said?
Yeah, I'm a Steelers.
Okay,
I never really hated them. I never really hated them too much because like they were never a threat. But I really started to hate them when they did that thing to Antonio Brown. When who was it? Fontes Perfect did that shit to Antonio Brown.
He's the reason. That's the reason he quit the Bucks. Like, dude, everything bad in his life. Just go back to that hit that he basically decapitated a wide receiver. He hasn't been right ever since.
Yeah, and I think, and look, I who knows what's going on in Antonio Brown's head, but like there's a good chance like that hit just really like scared him, you know, because like that's a like people forget football is a life. I don't want to say life threatening, but it takes years off your life. You know, it's a very dangerous sport.
Yeah.
I love the sport. I played football in high school, junior high, all that. But I've even broken my leg playing football. I've gotten concussed playing football, and I didn't go pro, you know, and like athletes, so many football players get concussions, they don't even report. Like I remember Tom Brady's wife said he's gotten like over a dozen concussions. And
Jesus.
a lot of them have not been like reported, you know, and like this sport is very dangerous. So there's a good chance AB had that injury or not injury, but that hit and was just like, wow, like my life could have been over just like that.
Yeah, I mean,
And
the memes
I
with
hate Vontaze for that.
I get it. The memes of that of him like leaving MetLife Stadium was still fucking hilarious, but I totally get like it's crazy like how could you expect someone to take hits like that, any player, and then just be like, why can't he be just a normal function of society? It's like, I don't know, lady, because he was hit in the head with a hammer for 8 straight years. like what did you expect was going to happen?
And I also think, and this is where like I think people like kind of, and look, like obviously these guys are millionaires. I'm not saying I have like so much sympathy for them all the time, but that's where like I think the whole like lack of like humanization of athletes comes in. Like I remember when AB had the issue with his helmet and he wanted like a specific helmet. Granted, you know, it's a helmet, but I was hearing people say, "Oh, it's just a helmet." I'm like, "What do you mean it's just a helmet?" Like this is what he uses to protect his brain. You know, like what do y'all mean it's just a helmet? Like and it just shows me like people either they don't know what they're talking about, like they've never played sports, or they just don't look at these guys as real like human beings. And it's really sad, you know, like people don't take their mental health, their physical health, emotional well-being, they don't take any of that serious. And it's very, very sad that it gets to that point, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I gotta admit, I'm definitely guilty in that way.
Mhm.
I'll say things where it's just like, why did I say that? That was a stupid thing to say. Like you know what I think it is?
Mhm.
I think it's twofold. One, people forget how, because you were talking about how you were playing, I guess, varsity or whatever, junior varsity. I forget what you said.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like the best football player. I played
No, it's all
varsity.
right. It's all right. You decided to
Yeah,
brag
I
on
was
this
a
podcast
yeah
about all
football.
your accolades.
No,
I guess.
no, football was not my main sport in high school. It was basketball, but I played football. You know, just because it was, you know, I liked the game. But I played football my senior year of high school, my freshman year, and my sophomore year. I took a break my junior year because I had to get surgery on my
Oh
knee
shit.
again. But
And that's the
like when I
thing.
played,
I think
Mhm.
people, I really do think that people forget how fast the professional league, like TV doesn't know justice. Like you have to be on the sideline at least to see how fast these players are going. Like people think
Mhm.
like, oh man, I could probably make that throw. Like even like the easiest throw in the world. It's like, dude, you don't understand how fast the ball is even moving from the quarterback to the receiver's hands. That it's basically like a fucking bullet coming out of a chamber. These players are moving at such an insane speed, and they're basically in car collisions without any airbags going off when they get tackled.
Mhm. It's very physical. And it's crazy because there are literally rules to like limit the physicality, and it doesn't really. It's still going to be very dangerous. You know, like every play, like every game after every game, you're in pain somehow. You know, and
Yeah.
people don't understand that. Like when you're taking it, when you're sleeping at night, like you're in pain. You know, like some of these guys have to take like crazy painkillers, and they get like addicted to it. Like people truly don't understand there's a physical tolls of sports in general, and like for a sport like football where like every play could be your last, like they just completely dehumanize these guys. And Antonio Brown, like, look, I'm not condoning everything he does because obviously like I'd be a fool to do that, but I completely understand sometimes the things he does because I feel like he looks at it like these owners, they don't see me as a person. They look at me as a piece of property. And I know how good I am. I'm always going to get another opportunity. So if they do me wrong, I'm going to, you know, do what I feel like is right for me to get out of the situation. And obviously, there still is a level of professionalism you should conduct yourself with, because like that's never okay. It's never okay to just burn bridges completely. You know, I'm a Steelers fan, and I would not want Antonio Brown back because he's a bad teammate. You know, even though I say all this, he is a bad teammate. He throws a lot of people under the bus and he ignores his own wrongdoings. But I can still say that, and two things can be true: that I understand his anger for a lot of situations, because people don't look at us. I said us. I'm not an athlete anymore, but they don't look at athletes as real humans, because we look at sports figures, musicians, entertainers, whatever you are. People just look at them as like these larger than life people that are just people that are meant to entertain, you know, and it's very sad. But it's just the truth. And everybody can be guilty of that, because, you know, sports, music, it's some of the most, especially sports, it's a very emotional, it brings out emotions in people. And it's
That's why it's probably why I never got into politics, because it's like, well, I'm already into sports. So I already got something I'm entertained by and people get emotional about. I really don't have to do that 2 times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. I agree.
What you said
politics
was,
is very and I feel like eventually, like, I have to really dig deep into it because, you know, voting and stuff.
nah.
But like, man, I really, no, I don't blame you, bro. Like, I really don't want to.
You don't have to.
I really don't care.
Don't force yourself. Once you put a button on your shirt, it's over. Like, there's no more going out to the club. You know, there's no more listening to like cool music from the 90s or whatever. It's like you become a dad instantly.
Yeah, I agree.
You actually said something in the middle though about when you were talking about Antonio Brown, where it's like I forgot what it was, but it was like 2 things could be true, which is it's like, yeah, like the owners and the coaching staff of a team could be like, yeah, no, we hired you to be this, we want you to be this, like fucking be part of the team, and we're trying to fucking win here. We're trying to make money, and also winning helps us make money. So let's fucking go. But then I can also understand the play where it's like, all right, well, I don't want to fucking do this, so I'm out. Like both sides can be right. It's just I don't know.
I agree.
It's weird that not a lot of people can understand that, because at the end of the day, both sides are trying to look out for themselves the most. They are. So you're going to have arguments and debates and conversations and all that. And it doesn't really necessarily mean that one side's right and one side's wrong.
I agree. And I think that's the thing. Like people just want to pick a side on who's right, who's wrong, you know? And sometimes I think that clouds like the bigger picture. Like the whole thing with him on the Bucks this year, and him walking off the field, I don't condone that, because that's wrong. You don't just go AWOL.
I loved it. Those memes were fucking when they.
It was hilarious. It was hilarious.
Some of the dude. I know it's a classic meme at this point, but when they get the guys from the Impractical Jokers, and they all right, now Antonio, take your jersey off and run off the field. I fucking love that meme, dude.
No, that shit was funny. I'm not gonna lie, it was funny. And the thing is, look, like I said, like it's you could say it's unprofessional, and I agree, it is unprofessional. But at the same time, like once the reports came out about why he did that, I understood. Like I was like, wow, that's pretty messed up that Bruce Arian really just threw up the "you're fire" thing, like slit throat on the sideline. And like then the text messages proved it right, and now he's like suing the Bucks or something. And
see, I'm confused by that, because maybe because I didn't. You probably, it sounds like you did more research than me, but I don't know which side is true, because I remember when he posted those screenshots of the messages, there was people saying, well, why don't you show the actual full message? And then like the full message showed maybe the opposite. I don't know, but I'm confused on all that part.
I mean, the full messages, he didn't post the full messages, I believe. But I know from the messages that he posted, he just told the coach, like, look, I'm not like 100%, you know, and like, he just wanted him to play, you know. And look, if AB, I honestly feel like in sports, if you're not 100%, and you genuinely feel like you can't play, then don't play. Like I don't believe in this whole stick it out, because like at the end of the day, like, yes, we want to win championships. That's the goal of any NBA team, or any NFL, NBA, any team in sports. But you can't win a title if you're not healthy. Like you just can't. The best ability is availability, and we all saw what the Bucks looked like without Antonio Brown. Like we saw what happened when he was not there. Obviously, they have other weapons. They still almost beat the Rams by trying to come back.
The Rams were doing everything in their power to give away that game.
Yep, bro. That's why I say, bro, Tom Brady has to be in the Illuminati, because like I don't understand. I don't understand how he just keeps like in these games, even when he's playing bad, things just like work out for him, like no matter what. Like, and I really started thinking about that when like I really started thinking that as like when the Seahawks blew that Super Bowl. Like when they threw that pick at the 1 yard line, I was like, bro, he has to be in the Illuminati, because like, how does this even make sense? How can like teams just give? How can you have Marshawn Lynch right there and you say, you know what, we're gonna run the ball at the 1 yard line? It's the worst decision I've ever seen.
You know what blows my mind about that play right there? It's okay. Everything about it was obviously Carroll, the coaching staff, like not running the ball and all that kind of stuff. But no one ever brings up the fact that, Russell Wilson was the quarterback and he threw an interception at the goal line. A lot of other quarterbacks would have got crushed for that. They don't even bring it up. I understand it's because the play call was such an atrocious play call. That's why they don't bring it up. But still, he was the quarterback that threw an interception right there in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I agree. I think Russell Wilson, I'm going to be honest, I think Russell Wilson, like now, he's going to get like the most criticism like he's ever gotten if he can't get it done in Denver, because like everybody keeps talking over the last couple of years, let Russ cook, blah, blah, blah. And like we've seen that they've sacrificed a good chunk of their roster, especially defensively, for Russell Wilson to cook. You know what I'm saying? Because like when you pay any player, but especially these quarterbacks, because these quarterbacks they get these huge bags. But when you pay any player at the quarterback position, you're somewhat handicapping yourself some way financially, whether it's defensive pieces, whatever. And not only did they pay him, but they also gave up assets for Jamal Adams, and Jamal Adams, I've consistently said he's not a real safety. He's a linebacker. He's just not. Like, he's horrible in coverage, like one of the worst coverage safeties in the league. And he was supposed to be this generational talent.
Like his speed or whatever, but you're right. He's not. I mean, I got to see a little bit more of him than a lot of people because, again, tri-state area, and he was on the Jets and everything. And he's like that. Well, how do I say it? Like, he's real good. Like that there. Like, that's all I could. He's real good. That's it. He's not really, really good. He's not great. He's real good. Like, he's good. Like if you had oatmeal and you put some sugar in, it's like, oh, this is a real good breakfast. Like I can't, like, it's not fucking flapjack and eggs or anything. It's just it's good oatmeal.
No, I agree. I think he just got overhyped when he came into the NFL. And the thing is, like, he was amazing in college. Like, I don't even blame people for the hype. But considering how he's followed it up, he complained his way out of the Jets, and I don't blame him. The Jets stink. The Jets are bad. But like, he complained his way out of the Jets, and he got his wish. And he went to Seattle, and they have one of the worst passing attacks or pass defenses in the league. And it's not all his fault. The secondary is just bad. But people were calling this guy like the next Ed Reed. I remember, like, they were calling him the next Ed Reed.
About that. Yeah, I do remember that. That was years ago now. Now no one really says that anymore.
Yeah, and there's a reason. And it's crazy. Like, he's not even the only issue with the Seahawks. Another guy who got overhyped was DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf was getting boosted. Like, people were saying he was the next Calvin Johnson.
Well, dude, I'm hearing people over here in Jets land and Giants land acting like, oh yeah, I would definitely trade a number 1 pick for Metcalf. Like, motherfucker, dude, you don't. First off, a receiver that's drafted in the first round, you better be hoping to get like 1,200 plus yards for the next 7 to 8 seasons. Like, dude, I like Metcalf. I think he's a big power receiver. You know what I mean? Like, he's. You don't trade a number 1 pick for a wide receiver that already has tread taken off his tires.
And I think also like he's good, but the only receiver I could even think about doing that is like maybe Jamar Chase because of how young he is and how great he was his rookie year. Justin Jefferson, you could argue him. I'm not giving up a number 1 pick for friggin' DeAndre Hopkins when he's already going to be in the tail end of his career soon. Like there are not, and honestly, I don't even think a receiver is worth a number 1 pick.
That's the statement right there. I understand like what you just said with Chase. Like he literally has only been in the league for 1 year. I mean, if someone were to say, "Hey, we'll give you a 1 pick for him," honestly, if I were the Bengals, I'd be like, "No, you're gonna have to give us a lot more than just fucking that, dude. Like this is our young quarterback's number 1 weapon. What are you, high?"
Yeah, and the chemistry is crazy already.
And maybe Cup, if like this was a trying to win now kind of team, and they need a, I'm trying maybe think of even a Denver. If it's like, hey, dude, let's link up Cup with Wilson. I mean, they are already. I don't even know how many assets they have to give up anymore after what they gave up for Wilson. Real quick though, on that Jamal Adams thing, you know what reminded me of him when you were bringing up his college and everything. And by the way, I have a fucking cold right now, so I sound good. So nasally. I'm drinking, dude. My drink is like, if you can hear this, it's a fucking carton of orange juice. It's a gallon of orange. I'm just chugging this shit. But Jamal Adams, to a lesser extent, reminds me of Clowney. Remember how hyped up he was?
Oh yeah,
he was.
Yeah,
there was people saying while he was in college, he's not the best college football player. He's the best football player in the world right now. It's like, dude, he's in college. Like, no, he's not. And his career has been. It's been good. It's been an okay career, but it's nothing compared to what he was hyped up to be coming out of college.
Yeah, and I think that leads into the whole like, what really is a bust? Because like you can be like, I strongly believe that you can be a good player and still be a bust, because like it just depends on what the hype was and expectations were for you coming into the league. You know, like if you were expected to be like the greatest player of all time and you end up becoming like a couple time Pro Bowler, All-Star, you know, or let me not say the greatest, because like some guys are there's no way they're going to live up to certain hype. That's why somebody like LeBron is just like an anomaly. But if you have like, if you have like expectations to be like an all-time great and you just become like a Pro Bowler like once or twice, that's a bust. Like I don't understand how people don't see it. That's a bust.
You consider that I don't know if I consider that like if you're projected, like, all right, how about this? Is Andrew Luck in your mind a bust? Because that's a perfect example. That really is a good example.
Well,
he was projected to do great things.
He was. But the thing with Andrew Luck is I still think he could have reached those heights if he didn't, you know, get injured, but if he didn't
he retired early too.
He retired. And like he still was good. Like Andrew Luck was really good. Obviously he wasn't Peyton Manning, because people were like, oh, because he had probably the most hype, I want to say, since Peyton. Like, or actually maybe was Cam Newton. I don't know, because Cam Newton had crazy hype too.
I think Andrew Luck was after Cam Newton though.
It was after, okay, because I was gonna say since Peyton Manning, but Cam Newton had crazy hype too. So I wouldn't. I'd have to.
He was after back, because he came out with RG3, and RG3 was definitely after Cam. See, that's but Andrew Luck came out with that and he went to the Colts. He came out with that expectation of doing amazing. Well, shoot, wait, I think Andrew Luck was like a year or two after Newton. He only had one season where he threw for 40 plus touchdowns. I think it was 46. I think with him, I personally would not consider him a bust, but there are people that probably would, because he did come out with expectations of, yeah, this guy's going to be a future Hall of Famer and can win you a championship, where I think he was a Pro Bowler a couple times. I don't even know if he made an All Pro, and then he retired early.
Yeah, but I still think Andrew Luck, and I don't know, maybe this is just because I like Andrew Luck, but I think Andrew Luck lived up to the expectation. Well, not lived up to it, but because obviously he wasn't some all-time great or anything, but I think he was on his way to doing that. He just, retired. And also those injuries, like the pain and the brutalization he was going through every year. And I
Dude,
watched
that
it
franchise, they don't deserve the two quarterbacks they had.
Mm-hmm.
They really do.
They don't.
They've had awful GMs. They have a bottom third tier ownership in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
They did not deserve Peyton and then Andrew fucking Luck.
Mm-hmm. And like, I'm telling you, like, I think them and the Packers are some of the luckiest some of the luckiest organizations to get the quarterbacks that they've had and underachieve the way they underachieved. Like Andrew Luck, obviously, I'm not saying Andrew Luck is perfect because he did throw a lot of interceptions. He was very risky with the ball, but Andrew Luck was a very talented quarterback, very mobile for someone of his size. He was big, he had a nice arm, great leader. And I just don't understand how you don't even give him a good O-line, like not even a decent one. This man was suffering internal bleeding in some years, collapsed lungs, the list of injuries, and then Colts fans booing him when he announced his retirement. That is the lamest thing I ever saw.
How dare
this guy,
you decide to live
him.
your life with your brain cells intact? You fucking you quitter.
And that goes back into the whole, like, they don't look at athletes as humans. I just don't get it. Like, how can people just do that? Like, this man gave essentially his life to that team. Like, he literally I think he even said in his interview, like, when he retired, he was like, yeah, like, one day I want to play with my kids, and like, I don't want to do that in a wheelchair and be a vegetable. And I completely understand that. Like, you don't have to be a rocket science to understand where he's coming from.
No. My life is miserable, and unless my favorite team wins, it will always be miserable. So you get out there. I don't care how many torn ACLs you have. You get out there, Toby, and you fucking run into the goddamn field. It's fucking crazy, dude.
Mm-hmm. And like, I really, like, when I was watching his press conference, I was like, man, he's going to start a trend of players just retiring really early. And like, lo and behold, I think like the next year, Luke Kuechly retired. And Luke Kuechly was fairly young too. And
he had a lot of concussions, man.
Mm-hmm.
So
and
many.
he even said, oh, it wasn't just the injuries. That's not why I retired. I was like, man, get out of here. We all know that's why you retire. And that's fine. If you don't want to tell us that's why, cool. But like, it doesn't take like a genius to know those concussions he was going. Because what was it, like 7-8 concussions he suffered in like 4 years? And people
fucking crazy.
Yeah, and people forget that like those are just the ones that are reported. Like, there are so many concussions that go undiagnosed that whether the team wants to cover it up or the player, because players won't say it, because they want to tough it out and stuff. But like, those are just the ones we know about. And like, for him to go through that many and that much, like that period of time, it really was crazy. And I have a friend that lives in North Carolina, and she was like, yeah, when he came out and said he was hurt, or not hurt, but that he was retiring, we all knew why. Like, we all knew why he was gone. And it's just a really unfortunate thing with these athletes. And I think that's something that I'm glad that, guys like LeBron and a lot of other athletes have like really shown players that there's more to life than sports, because like, as much as we love this game, football, basketball, soccer, whatever it is, like, there is more to the game. There's more to life than sports. Like, I'll legit get people sending me death threats in my comments or my DMs.
For what?
And I'm like, bro, yeah, like, because people dribble basketballs and I disagree with how good they are. Like it's never that serious. But people like to take things personal, and it's like I'm like, bro, these
Listen,
players
when
don't
I
even
sent
know who
those
you
comments, I meant them in love, by the way.
Well, I accept your apology. I accept.
You know,
But
this is going to be
yeah,
I don't know how to state this without like it sounding like there's no way a rational person's going to be like, well, why am I even going to feel sympathetic to that? But this is all right. So when athletes are complaining or whatever about their job or in any aspect or whatever, obviously like the fact, you know, hey, they're millionaires, like what the fuck, da 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 da. Look, how's this guy complaining? He has like $100 million contract, da 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 da. Players, they get paid in almost like anyone. You know, if a guy signs $100 million contract, you know, after the taxes and the agent and everything, it's not like he then gets all 55 million on one pay stub. You know, depending on how it works, he might get a weekly, a bi-weekly, monthly. They get checks. They get or game checks. They get game checks in the NFL. So they get a check. And athletes are like humans. And maybe if anyone's listening, there's one person that can kind of understand what I'm about to say. You might go into a job that you absolutely love. You love the field you're in. You love your coworkers. You love it all. But after a while, when you start seeing the same paycheck come in, you know, week in and week out, you know, it might take months, might take years. But after a little while, human ambition starts to, you know, the gear starts to get rolling in your head, and you're like, huh, I kind of want to get paid more, you know. But that's whether you're making $50,000, $100,000, but that's also if you're making $10 million, $100 million. You start seeing the same numbers, and you're like, is there a way I can get more out of this? And it's hard for any like normal person to like relate to that, but if that's a way to relate to it, it really is that they are, yes, in a different like annual salary, like they're in a different aspect of life financially than you, but they do still have those same aspects of, I want to get more.
No, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree, because like people just forget. It's good. Like I said, like you always want to win, but like a huge part of your goal as any employee is to make money. Like that's literally your job. You're not playing as much as you love sports. You're not playing football for $10 an hour. You're not doing that because you know you want to make more than that. And like you like even in any profession, the goal is to climb the ladder and get better and better and better. And you know, eventually, at least if you're ambitious. If you're not, then you know that's your problem. But the goal is to climb the ladder and get better over time. Like whether you're working a 6-figure job at some computer company, or you're working as some cashier at McDonald's. You know, if you want any type of
McDonald's. That's always the bar.
Hey, I actually used to. Fun fact: I actually used to work at McDonald's when I was in high school. But I quit eventually. Or actually, no, I got fired. I got fired.
Awesome. Wait, is it a fun story, or is it just you not showing up?
Yeah. Well,
you gotta tell it now.
Yeah, I'll tell the story. It was essentially, so there was this one little girl, right? And she came in, she wanted a drink, and my boss, she was right by. And this was a new boss. I did not like her. She was very, very annoying. Always on my ass about things that were just not that serious. Just very, very annoying woman. And you know, she had been pissing me off like a lot that week, that particular week. Oh, and this little girl walks in, and McDonald's, by the way, trash. Don't ever eat from there. But this little girl had only $1. And the drinks are worth $1.10.
Oh, geez.
And so Actually, she didn't even have $1. It was like just short of $1 with coins.
I feel like you're gonna break this little girl's heart.
No. She gave me the coins, and I counted it like right like on top of the desk, and it was clearly short of $1. And I just gave her the cup because I was like, man, who cares? You know, like she's short a couple like 15, 20 cents. Who honestly cares? If they want, they could take it out of my paycheck. And so, and this girl she walked in there by herself. She looked like she couldn't be more than 8, 9 years old. I don't know where her parents were. Yeah. And not only did she look like that, but she looked kind of homeless.
Oh, Jesus.
So I was feeling really bad. I was
feeling
really bad.
Gabriella walks into McDonald's and just wants some soda pop.
Yeah. And like, mind you, like you don't even fill up the drink for them if they walk in. You just give them the cup.
Yeah.
And so I just gave her the cup, and my boss was right there, right behind me.
Oh my God. And
I'm thinking like, she's not even going to care because, you know, this is some little girl here. What am I going to do? Let her just be hungry? And she wasn't even asking for food. It was just the drink. And then my boss is like, what are you doing? Like, why did you just take that money from her? And I'm like, are you serious? Are you really on my ass about this? And I said it like that. I cussed. I was like, are you really on my ass about this? This is a little girl.
Yes.
I was like, this is a little girl, and you're going to seriously complain because I cut her like 10, 15 cents? Like, are you fucking serious? And then she was like, excuse me, like, well, who are you talking to? I was like, bro, I'm talking to you, like, because you've been on my ass every day since you started working here. My old boss was way better than you. I don't like working these shifts anymore. Why are you such a bitch about this stuff? And then she was like, you know what, you can go home.
Did you say that?
I was like,
Did you say bitch to her?
Yeah, I said like, why are you being such a bitch about this?
Balls on this guy.
And mind you, like I probably shouldn't have said that. Like me now, I wouldn't do that. But I was younger at the time, and I was just so fed up. Like this was just my breaking point.
No, you got a story to tell though, so it's okay. It all worked out in the long run.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't condone calling women bitches. I was just referring to that specific woman. She was being a bitch about that. And so. I was just like, and she was like, oh, you can go home. And mind you, I'd already applied for a Walmart job about like a week or two before, and I didn't know if I was going to get an interview. And so,
are you trying to said, oh, work for home, every like conglomerate?
Oh no, like the thing with Walmart is, yeah, I did like, I just didn't like the job anymore because remember, I hated my boss.
Yeah,
and it's not like McDonald's was paying me like a lot. At the time, I was only making like
to give little Jennifer some fucking soda, apparently.
Exactly. And so she told me, oh, you can go home. And I was like, you know what? I will go home. And maybe I won't come back. She was like, go ahead, because you don't have to work here anymore. I was like, you're right. I don't have to work here anymore. So I just left. And while because I didn't have my car at the time, I was waiting for my dad to pick me up. I was sitting in the lobby, and one of my other employees walked up. She's like, yo, what happened? And I was like, man, she's just mad because I gave a girl a free drink. Like, she's just on my ass about this shit. It's not even that serious. And then and it wasn't even free. And then she wasn't
even free. You took the change.
Yeah. And so then I was on the phone. I got a call from Walmart, and Walmart was like, oh, we wanted you to come in. This is literally the day I got fired. And I was sitting in the lobby, and I got a call from Walmart, and Walmart was like, oh, we want you to come in for an interview. I was like, oh, bet I can come in tomorrow. They were like, all right, that's fine. And so when I got that call sitting there, I was like, wow, these people really fired me. And I just got an interview from Walmart, a better job anyway. And so like I called my friend, and I was laughing on the phone while I was in the lobby. And my employee was like, dang, look at him. He doesn't even care. He got fired. And that's essentially what happened. I really hated it there. And McDonald's, I'm gonna just be honest, that specific McDonald's I worked at, it was trash. It was dirty. It was flies everywhere in the back. I could not stand that McDonald's. I told everybody I was friends with, I was like, man, don't ever go there. That place is dirty. You guys don't want to work here, go there. Mind you, I was immature. You know, I was young. I would not have done those things if it was me now. No, me now wouldn't even work at McDonald's.
Yeah, the older you would have been like, listen, you little shit, unless you have $1.10 and you're not getting a fucking soda.
Exactly. I would have told that little girl she could just march her way out.
Dude,
But
when you were having the confrontation with your then boss, like, was the little girl looking over as if like mom and dad were fighting? Like, oh my God, I just ruined their relationship too.
no, I even because the little girl, she had got her drink, and I even told my boss, I was like, look, like, you can just take it out of my check. She was like, no, because you shouldn't have done it in the first place. I was
Oh
like,
my
man,
God.
this lady is just horrible. And I mean, it's crazy because I remember a week or two later, I went to get my check. This is my last check from them. And when I went to get my check, this pissed me off more than anything.
They took it
This is
out.
the
Please
worst
tell
thing
me
she
they
ever
took it
did.
out.
Oh, no, they didn't take it out. But when I went there, she was like, oh, I can't give you your check until you return your uniform.
Oh,
And I was like, are you serious? I literally called y'all and I told you I was coming to pick up my check. You don't think you could have told me that before I came? She's like, oh, I forgot. I was like, oh my God, fuck you. And I just left.
Oh, you didn't even take the check?
No, she couldn't. She said, I can't give it to you until you return your uniform.
So
And I was just so mad. Yeah, I went home, I got my uniform and I brought it. But the thing is, before I came, I literally talked to her on the phone and I said, hey, I'm coming to pick up my check. And she was like, okay, your check is here. And I was just like, yeah.
That's
I was just
worst.
like, you don't think you could have told me?
I hate
I was
her.
like, I was so, yeah, I hated her.
She
so
knows.
much.
She knew what she did.
Yeah. Yeah. And then she gave me this bullshit. Oh, I forgot. Like, shut up. Shut up. Like, just cut the bullshit, man. I was so angry about that situation. But, some people are just who they are. And I've just realized a lot of people that work at McDonald's, like a lot of like older people or that work anywhere like McDonald's, Burger King. And I'm not trying to shit on anybody that works at those places. I'm not saying everybody's like this, but a lot of people that work there, they're just mad at certain people for doing better with their lives. Like I've just realized that like a lot of people that work at these lower tier jobs, they're very bitter about how their lives turned out. And not everybody, but a lot of people that are, because like you go to a lot of these drive-throughs and stuff, they be giving you attitude, man. I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to get my food and go, and like, it's not my fault that like you're working here, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, not everybody's situation is the same, because not everybody that works at McDonald's is some dropout. There are graduates that are working at McDonald's just because they want a quick job right now. So I'm not saying everybody's the same, but a lot of people that work in those situations, man, they're just mean people. I'm not even trying to be mean, but a lot of them are just mean people.
Yeah, dude. There's I've been to fast food
Except
places.
Chick-fil-A. Except Chick-fil-A.
No, hold on, because Chick-fil-A has been popping up a lot now lately, and I've been going to a couple of them, and I'm like, yo, man, this isn't the Jesus people that I went to Chick-fil-A back in the day. Like, you sound like you went to temple at one point. Like this, I don't know, man. It's getting a little weird now. You guys used to be really holly jolly. Now you're kind of a little holly.
Oh,
but
they're mean now?
Not mean, but like, they used to have that perfect fake smile. They don't got that no more.
Nah, Chick-fil-A, like I feel like that's like a part of their selling point. They're these nice people. They're Jesus freaks. No church,
Love it.
no, they're not open on Sundays. And look, I'm a Christian, so I love
makes me wait till Monday.
Aspect.
Love it, fucking love it. Like, I'll wait 2 days. All right, I won't pray, but I'll wait.
Exactly,
dude. But going back to the say your thing real quick.
Oh no, I was just gonna say like I love Chick-fil-A, but I do think that like a big part of their image is just being these nice people, and if they ever go against that, who knows what's going to happen to their image. But
that's fair. If they were selling that food but had like Popeye's mentality, they would not be doing nearly as well as they're doing. Dude,
I agree.
Popeye's is like, oh, you want chicken? You're gonna have to wait like 15 minutes. It's like, I'm sorry. I thought that's the only thing you sell.
When they were going through their like chicken sandwich phase, I remember people were like, bro, how can y'all be out of what y'all sell? How can you be out of chicken?
Dude, like,
and I was like, well, that is a good question.
It blows my mind. It's like you go to a burger place, they never run out of chicken. You go to a place that Popeyes, they don't do breakfast, they don't do burgers, dude. They only do chicken, and they're almost always out of fucking chicken, and you have to wait. Like they'll always be like, "Hey, can you wait 5 minutes?" And then 25 minutes later, it's this dude who like is just strung out. He's just marching sadly to your car with the chicken, and part of you's like, do I get out and meet him halfway? And then part of you's like, nah, fuck that, ain't my job. Like what? It's just it's the worst.
I understand. And like look, like when it comes to people that work in fast food, like I understand the mentality, right? Like you've been working all day, and some customers are assholes too. I'm not trying to make it look like it's just employees.
For real, they are.
Yeah, because some customers are straight up assholes.
Yeah.
But man, like some of these employees, bro, and like I used to work. Another fun fact: I used to work at Pizza Hut, right? At Pizza Hut,
you are working at.
Yeah, I used to work at like a lot of places, man.
You
like
hit up all the Fortune 500 companies.
Yeah, I used to work at Pizza Hut, and Pizza Hut, man. Oh my God, that was a job I will never forget because I used to I go to school at UH, right? And
what's UH?
University of Houston. And
I thought you were going to Harvard for a second. I was like, oh shit.
No,
look at that.
I used to work at Pizza Hut, and for those who don't know, UH is in Third Ward, Houston, and Third Ward, Houston is a really, really bad neighborhood. A lot of crime.
Wait, the people that went to the people that were part of Five Slamma-Jamma, you're talking about this UH, right?
Yeah, UH. They just went to the Final Four last year. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's located in you didn't know it's located in the middle of the hood.
Dude, have you seen my avatar? I'm shockingly Caucasian. It's like I'm white. No, I don't know anything outside of my dumb white mind.
But yeah, UH is not located in a good neighborhood. And
really,
I used to work at Pizza Hut, and that Pizza Hut, they always are looking for drivers for obvious reasons because no one's gonna want to be a driver there.
Fuck, dude.
And I remember I signed up for working as a driver. My dumb ass. I signed up as a driver because I needed the money. And I remember, man, certain neighborhoods, dude. They always told us, man, if you can't go, like if the neighborhood looks bad and it looks sketchy, just bring the pizza back. And man, there were a couple times I told them, I was like, I'll even give an example. There was one time I pulled up to a neighborhood and a couple dudes I saw, they was just shirtless and strapped up.
Nope.
And I hit that U-turn so fast. I've never hit a U-turn so fast. And I called Pizza Hut and I was like, yeah, I'm not delivering this pizza because like this is like there's no way I'm gonna risk my life like that.
Oh, shit.
And look, like I've lived in rough neighborhoods. How like my apartment was in a rough neighborhood. But it was just no way I was gonna get out the car. Like there was just no way.
I'm just imagining like these 3 shirtless dudes with guns, and they see this ragtag car coming by with the little Pizza Hut like glow on fucking light that's on the roof of the car.
No, that's the thing. That's the worst thing. They don't even give you that.
Oh.
So like they don't even give you, or at least the one I worked at, they didn't even give us that. So like it was just like people didn't even know I was working for Pizza Hut until I come out the car and they see my Pizza Hut shirt. And like my employee's been robbed before, so that doesn't even stop you from getting robbed.
No, of course not.
So and look, like I love Third Ward, I go to school out there. But man, I'd be damned if I ever work at Pizza Hut ever again in that neighborhood in general, because I wouldn't want to be a driver anymore. But man, it was really rough.
Since then, they've built one nice apartment complex, and they sell it as like, oh, this is nice urban area, da 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 da, and like. It's like dude, I always love that when they do gentrification, but they only do it halfway. And it's like half of it looks like Paris and the other half looks like a Scooby-Doo ghost town. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's literally you just described Third Ward. Because like Third Ward will have one half is trash, like, crackheads and drug dealers and all these terrible things. And then the other half is just a horrible fucking or a paradise, like you said, like nice houses. You think Fresh Prince of Bel Air, bro. Fresh Prince of Bel Air neighborhood.
Dude, and you know
And then
what's
the
crazy?
other half is just a nightmare.
And they'll put on like the bottom of these apartment complex like window stickers of a diverse young group of people going out for the night. And there's always like one white guy who might be gay. There's always a girl. There's always a black guy, but he's not too black. He's always light skinned because he doesn't want, you know, they still want people to rent out the apartments. It's like, dude, what? Like, you guys, like, this is like early 2000s.
They gotta get that representation, you know, that diversity.
It's such bullshit, dude. I drive by neighborhoods like that where it's literally that, what I just described. And then across the street, I see the real neighborhood. And it's like this neighborhood I'm thinking about off the top of my head. It's a very much just Spanish neighborhood. I look to the left, an apartment complex of what they're trying to be. And I look to my right, it's like really ragtag houses with bars on the windows. And I know the vast majority of the people living there are Spanish.
Mm-hmm. And like, there's been like this debate with a lot of people, like about, oh, if gentrification is really a good thing or a bad thing, right? And UH has been a part of that discussion because UH is essentially gentrification. To build this university that, you know, prides itself on diversity and all this and that. And, you know, it's like a big university. It's D1 in sports, like this multi-million-dollar company damn near. And they built it in this horrible neighborhood. And like, I don't know what UH is doing for the neighborhood. Like, I don't know if they're doing community service, whatever. Mainly because I just don't pay attention to it. But like, to build this school in this type of neighborhood, like, for one, you're putting students at risk because students get robbed every day, like getting their cars broken into. Like, literally, my apartment complex, like the apartment I used to live in near UH before I started commuting, I would go upstairs and I would just see glass on the floor. Damn. And it's windows. Like I know it's people's windows just being broken into. And luckily I stayed on the first floor. And like on the first floor, there was this camera. And I know it scared people from breaking in. And I don't even know if that camera worked or not, but it's definitely scared people. So yeah, thankfully I didn't have to worry about that.
With gentrification or just trying to make a neighborhood, I guess, better. On paper, it sounds like great. Like, yeah, of course. It's like, this is a really bad neighborhood. Let's make it great. But in reality, what it looks like is, imagine like you had a sidewalk with, you know, dozens of homeless people on the sidewalk. And then walking down that sidewalk are you and like your four friends wearing Ralph Lauren shirts and just go, ha, 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 we're going to have so much fun today at the bar. And it's like, in reality, that's what gentrification looks like. You're giving people who never even lived in the neighborhood to begin with these awesome places. And then next door are the people just living in hell. Like, hey, dude, I know. Fuck, man. Like, what the fuck, dude? Can you do it somewhere else, please?
Yeah, I agree. And like, I feel like gentrification, like you said, it's better in theory than it is in process. And I think that it's more so like a thing where if you're going to gentrify a neighborhood or like fix it up, you should just fix up the whole thing. You know, that's just kind of how it is. But like, that's not possible because certain people live in the neighborhoods and they don't want to move. And, you know, you no matter what you say, if you try to buy them out, you know, some of these old women or old men, they're like, no, my father gave me this house. And that's understandable. You know, it's your legacy. You don't want to give it up. So it's not really possible. You know, it sounds like it's a nice idea, but it's just not, you know, you can't practice it. It's like communism. That's how it is.
I think gentrification is a perfect example of, hey, listen, lady, if you're going to cheat on your husband, can you at least like wait till your husband's out of the house before you invite the other guy over? Like, can you not fuck this other guy right in front of your husband?
Exactly. And it's like, it's not going to happen.
Do you still got a little bit more time?
Yeah. I'm down to keep going.
Word, because I wanted to talk about a couple of your videos real quick, but one thing with the fast food and like that woman you described who was, I guess, your boss or whatever, you know what it is, man? I think just there are a lot of older people in this world who were sold a bill of goods, work hard, grind, put in the effort, da 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 da. And a lot of people worked jobs that they truly hated and had them give up on their dreams because they fell for one of the 7 deadly sins, which is greed.
Mm-hmm.
And because their lives were miserable for 30, 40, 50 plus years, in a way, it's just like they don't want you to have a happy life. They want you to walk the same path they did because misery likes company. And it's just like, they just want you to be as miserable as they are.
I agree completely. And it's really sad because like,
it's fucking really sad.
It's very sad because it's like, you're not even, the whole point of like having older people in your life is to like give you advice and mentor you, and they're not even fulfilling the role that they have. Like, and it's really sad because I don't think people understand that like your situation's not going to get any better. So why just be a negative person? Like, positivity is the only thing that can help your situation, because as far as your financial status or you going back to school, those things are probably not changing, unless you really want to go back to school at that age, which I don't knock you, go ahead and do it. There's a lot of people that graduate with degrees at 50.
I don't knock anyone who's trying to be happy, man. If you're trying to be happy, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So like, I have no problem with that. But some people, if you're not willing to do that, the least you could do is just be a good person, be positive, because you never, like, people never know where that positivity is going to take them. Like, if somebody like me, right, on YouTube, like if somebody was a bitch to me in the past, and then like, let's say one day, like I start a company and that person like applies, like if I was an asshole, which I'm not, but if I was a dick, I could be like, oh, you think I'm gonna hire you? You know what I'm saying? Like you just genuinely never know who you're gonna run into. And I'm not a dick. Like, if somebody has the qualifications, even if they did me wrong in the past, I would still hire them, because guess what? Like, I don't know how they've changed going forward. And this is not high school, but not everybody is as nice as me. There are people that genuinely hold a grudge forever. And yeah, forever, bro.
like since high school, which is crazy.
Yeah, and it's really lame, but those are the kind of people that just are unhappy, and
they are. Like, and it's weird because like it takes a lot of patience. Like I bet that woman you were talking about, like if someone was able to have a one-on-one conversation and be like, "Listen, Deborah, let's take a seat," and like,
or Gladys,
really open her up. I bet she'd start crying about like how miserable she is and how she wants to move forward, but. Listen, man, they ain't your job. Your job is to be like, man, fuck this shit. I don't gotta work at Mickey D's.
Yeah, and it's just really sad, honestly, because some people don't understand that kindness is the best. Like, I'm not even trying to be cheesy, but it's the best solution to all. Not all, but it's a great remedy to any problem, because if you're kind to others, like, they'll be kind to you, and it can always pay off, like people genuinely don't understand that, but it is what it is. And it's crazy because like rich people are the ones who have this image of being mean, but like I have met some poor people that are so mean, like so mean. And I'm not saying if you work at these jobs, you're poor. Please don't mistake me. But like, I've met some people that are so mean that are poor or have lesser money. And like, it's crazy that rich people are the ones who have this horrible, like persona. Like, I remember I gave a poor dude, like a crackhead in Third Ward, some money, or not money. I gave him some food. This one I used to eat at McDonald's. Crack. I gave him like a hot and spicy. He probably wishes I gave him. He probably wishes I gave him some crack. But I gave him some McDonald's. I think I gave him fries. I offered him fries.
That's crack. Like, McDonald's fry? You gave him crack.
That is crack. But I remember I gave it to him, and his first response was, "I need some money. I don't need some food."
That's awesome.
And I was
that's amazing though. Like, I love that line. That's good for him. That's a classic homeless 101 retort.
Yeah, and like, I remember I was like, man, y'all just getting greedy out here, bro. Like, and to be fair, it's not like I spent a lot of money on that McDonald's. But I was like, damn, okay. And then like I remember I just gave him $5, and I didn't have to do that, but I just genuinely, I just feel
Holy
like I
shit.
was like, what do I got to lose?
You fell for the sales pitch, huh? Was he wearing a red tie
Yeah,
when he said it?
I did. Nah, a blue one.
Holy shit. Yeah, I don't. I think people are, whether you're poor, rich, middle class, whatever. I think the percentage of bad people is the same. I just think with rich people, they're better at managing their books. That's really it. Like they're just better with money for the most part.
And I think a lot of people conflate. Like I said, it's a sense of entitlement of how rich people are viewed, because like people just think because you're rich, you have to do things for the community. You have to do things like, for example, and I don't want to get too political, but like, and I understand the argument here that I'm about to say. But like, for example, like my community, right? Like the black community, like people feel like if you make it,
I gotta get my podium for you. Hold on, I gotta real quick. I gotta get this so you can go on your little apology tour afterwards.
Oh no.
I am sorry for what I said. I will be touring Southeast Africa with Al Sharpman for the next 6 months, learning more about where I'm from and our culture. Thank you.
And me, like I'm African, right? Like I'm Nigerian. And like I feel like there's this thing in like Africans and like black people as a whole, where like if you make it, you have this like responsibility to the community to give back and always speak out on issues. And look, I do believe if you come from a less advantaged community, it's always nice to give back. But as far as like outside of giving back, speaking up on political issues, like why do you care what Michael Jordan has to say about Donald Trump? Like, why should I care what is he a politician? Is he somebody that his opinion is gonna drastically sway something? It's like these are the same people that will post a black square online and think that they're doing something. Like, you're not doing anything. Doing something is putting your money where your mouth is and actually contributing. Words can only take you so far. And like, I feel like that's just the thing with rich people. People feel like entitled to their own success because, oh, I listen to his music. Oh, I watch him on TV. I helped buy their house. Like, no, they worked hard and your support helped, but they worked hard to get to where they got, and like people just feel entitled to people that make it in the industry in whatever field it is. And it's really sad, honestly.
Yeah, there's a lot of entitlement, envy, and then idol worship with a lot of people. Like people caring about, say, Michael Jordan's opinion, or someone who's famous, LeBron who's famous, Tom Brady or whatever. It's like, dude, you're also a person. Like, you're allowed to have your own thoughts and your own opinions, your own mind. Like, you don't have to worship this dude. Like, idol worship is it's a really stupid and bad thing to do, because you're putting someone on a pedestal, and it's just you're robbing yourself of your own identity. Like, dude, just have your own thoughts. Who gives a fuck who said anything? Like, dude, I'm a huge George Carlin fan, right? I love his stand-up comedy, and he's dead now. And
yeah, rest easy.
Yeah, and people will write comments like, "Oh, if Carlin was alive, he would say da 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 da." And if it's like, dude, he's dead. He's fucking dead. So you're alive. You obviously have an opinion. Just be you and fucking say what you want to say. Because Carlin, guess what? He's fucking dead. He ain't coming back. So, like, screw it.
No, I feel
you. Also,
there.
don't know if he would have said that. You just think he will because that agrees with your opinion.
And I think, like, for example, have you seen those? And I know people know the fan base is crazy, but have you seen like the Beyonce fan base? Like,
have I
that
seen
fan
the
base?
Beyonce? No, I don't. Oh wait, no. Oh, the Beehive. I've heard
Beehive,
that.
yeah.
I've heard this before. Yes.
They are the most mentally ill fans I've ever seen. Like I have never seen a fan base that dedicated to them. Like, it has to be a sport to dick ride that hard, because like they are like so, like if you go to, for example, right, Kid Rock. I don't know what Kid Rock said, but you could go to Kid Rock, some of his posts on Instagram to this day, and this was an incident that happened, I think, like over a decade ago. He said something about Beyonce. He said something about Beyonce, and you could go to some of his posts. I don't know if it's still going on, but I know like a couple months ago I went to go check, and you'll still see B comments, like B comments, and I don't know what specifically he said, but like you'll still see some B comments
to look it up right now. I'm so like
yeah, dude. No, you can go. I don't know if it's still happening now, but I know like one of my friends told me about this, and I was like, wow, like B comments, what is it for? Like, and it's like, oh, he said something about Beyonce a long time ago, and I'm like, wow, like what did he say? And Beyonce, I don't know.
Fans have attacked Kid Rock on social media after Rock made derogatory. I can't believe I'm talking about Kid Rock right now. Derogatory comments about the singer. Kid Rock has incurred the wrath of the Beyonce fans following comments he made on the pop star. Yeah, but what? 2015? That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I gotta admit, I can't knock the hustle. To be a hater, like you ever see the Chappelle show skit?
Yeah.
Was it the player haters ball or something like that?
Yeah.
I gotta admit,
Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle, bro. I'm telling you, Dave Chappelle is one of the funniest guys I've ever listened to, and he is somebody that he has really like broken the mold of cancel culture. Like honestly, like I don't know if you've seen some of his recent stand up, but he said a lot of comments about like the LGBT community and stuff, and I'm not going to go into depth too much, but he said a lot of comments, and like he was just like, man, people try to cancel me. Go ahead and try. Like maybe something will come out one day that I said something. And like, I think comedians, it's very easy for them to not get canceled because like you can kind of always use that whole, I'm a comedian. But then again, look at Kevin Hart. You know, they tried to cancel him over a joke he said too. And like, I've just realized cancel culture is just lame. It doesn't really exist. And like, I only think cancel culture should exist whenever somebody says something like, I don't know, like if someone says something racist, I understand. If someone like is assaulting someone, you know, like if it's like a criminal act, I completely understand that. But if it's like some guy said, I don't know, something like 5 years ago that could be, or when he was 15, like I'm like, bro, he's a kid. You know, you got to give him a pass here. He has some leeway. Like, I just said a story where I called a grown woman a bitch to her face. I'm sure in like 15 years, maybe that comes out and like people are like, man,
what did you say?
What a sexist. Like
possibly.
I'm just gonna be like, man, y'all dick riding right now because this is not that deep.
What's it called? Yeah, it goes back to misery likes company. Like people getting on social media like so and so should be fired. It's just like, yeah, obviously you're not perfect and obviously you're miserable, so you want this person to lose their job so they're I guess equally as miserable. Mm-hmm. But I also the whole cancel culture thing, it really is bullshit. Like comedians don't, I'm not saying stop in terms of like stop, but comedians really have to like stop pretending as if you're all getting canceled. You're not. You're making millions of dollars doing specials. Like, what are you talking? Mm-hmm. Like, it is like a beautiful time to be a stand-up comedian right now. Like, you can there are so many unfunny comedians with podcasts. Hey, how's it going? That that fucking like are crushing it. It's like like, oh yeah, but what about Gary from IT that got fired from IBM because of it's like, why do you care about Gary from IBM? Like, don't pretend that you do.
Exactly, and it's just people just want to be social justice warriors
on both sides.
That's really
on both fucking sides.
Yeah, both sides.
And then also, to be fair, there's annoying people like me who are like, oh, look at both sides throwing tomatoes. It's like, yeah, and you're talking about it, you douche. So we're all assholes, really, you know?
Yeah, I feel you on that.
By the way, yeah, I saw his latest specials. I wasn't a big fan of The Closer, which was his last one, because it started pretty strong and then it really got boring. I was kind of like,
Yeah, I think the last one is the one he talked about, that one trans woman or something that was his friend.
yeah, that was
I
definitely
think that's
part of
the
it.
one. Yeah, that one was not. I'm not gonna say it was trash, because Dave Chappelle doing a boring special is like some guy's career specials. I'm not gonna say it was
Oh
trash,
yeah, it
but
wasn't trash. No.
yeah, I told Dave Chappelle, and I do this for anybody that's great in their field, but I hold Dave Chappelle to this high standard, where like if I'm not like laughing my ass off or something, it's probably just it's skippable. I don't have to watch it. It's not all that. But that's just a testament to how great Dave Chappelle is, because I really think he's one of the funniest guys I've ever listened to. Like, there have been times I've listened to Dave Chappelle and I've just like been rolling on the floor in tears, because he's just that funny.
Killing Him Softly is still, until more specials come out and I get older, which I don't think it will happen. It's still one of my favorite specials of all time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
So fucking, dude, there are jokes from that special. I mean, it's from 1999. There are still jokes from that special that I say to this day, just when I'm alone. They pop up into my brain, man.
Yeah, I agree. I think the one guy I will say that didn't really age to me that well was Kevin Hart. And I love Kevin Hart.
What's that about, dude? I have the same feeling. Like, I loved 2-3 of his specials when I was younger, but now I barely remember any of the jokes from it.
I think Kevin Hart I think he's a victim of meme culture. And I mean that like when he came out, right? Like, I remember the whole Laugh at My Pain, like all of the specials he did. And I remember the whole joke of 2 + 2 not knowing what the fuck it is, bitch. Like, I remember all the jokes he was saying, a long hair, no nipple having, all that shit.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. And I remember like when it came out, I think he's a victim of just not aging well. Because when it came out, it was so funny. And I was younger, and I was younger. Like we were, I don't know how old you are, but like you said you were in high school when like the Giants won Super Bowl. So I assume you're probably around my age.
Yeah, late 20s.
But like,
you sound like you're in that late 20s, early 30s kind of range.
Oh, no, you're way older. Well,
I'm 22. Now I feel like shit. Wait, you're 22?
Yeah, I'm 22.
Oh, God. I feel like such a fucking grandfather, dude.
Wait, how old are you?
I'm not telling you my exact age, but it's a lot more than 22. I'm still in my 20s, though. I still got a little pep in my step. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you're not old. You're not old.
Oh, dude. This was a really great episode, but now when we go off air, I'm going to just be like, all right, so I'm going to kill myself now. This is fun. Shit.
Nah, bro, you are not old, man. I'm telling you, old. Actually, let me not say what old is. I got parents.
I'm going to be looking in the mirror after this and be like, it's over, man. It's over. You had your chance and you blew it. The 30s are coming and you ain't going nowheres.
Nah, I measure how old I am whenever like I start seeing like things just gradually pass me by. Like for example, like Rihanna, right? She's recently pregnant. I remember when I was younger, I never thought that was gonna
From
ever.
Who? No, I love her.
I know. Oh, you didn't know Rihanna was pregnant?
I don't follow. Dude, she is gorgeous, though. My God, that girl's dude. That girl, like, I can't even say like she's hot or she's got fat ass. No, like she is just beautiful.
Yeah, no, Rihanna is definitely top tier, yo. I will never lie about that. She's definitely elite two-way player, bro.
She is the Peyton Manning of the looks department.
Yeah, her, Beyonce, Megan Good, they're all in the top tier.
Who's Megan Good? But I'm about to look her up.
Yeah, you can look her up. She's very, very beautiful. She was my
where
like
I know this
crush growing up. I don't know if you've ever seen Shazam, but she was in Shazam. She was in not Drumline. She was in Stomp the Yard. She was in
oh, that's right. She was in those. Yes, Drumline, Stomp the Yard, whichever one it was.
Yeah, but Yeah, Rihanna, when I heard she was pregnant, I was like, wow, yeah, I'm old. Because, like, shit,
Oh, dude,
I
no.
remember
Oh,
when
jeez. You
Rihanna
think
was
you're
dating
old?
Chris Brown. Yeah, I remember when Rihanna and Chris Brown were like in their late 20s and they were early 20s and they were dating. Now both of them are about to have kids. Like Chris Brown has like 2 kids and Rihanna's got one on the way. I'm like, wow. And like
Dude,
Nicki
imagine
Minaj,
if
like
like Chris Brown's kids, they just beat the shit out of Rihanna's kids. And like he's just like Chris Brown has his hands on his hips and like his head tilted like father like son, you know?
yeah, Chris Brown, man. I remember, man, and this is unfair to them, but it is kind of just how things work in society. But they really became like the modern day face of like domestic violence. And it's not fair. They didn't ask for that. But like whenever you think of domestic violence, like of this generation, or at least when I was growing up and you were growing up, like one like I'd probably say the biggest story was probably Chris Brown and Rihanna because it was such a big deal back then. Like,
Well, he kind of fucked her up. He kind of
yeah, he did. He
yeah.
did. And I just think they were just because I've heard Chris Brown talk about the situation before, and like they were just a really toxic couple. You can tell that was not their first fight because for him to just spaz out the way he did and her looking the way she did, it was definitely they're toxic. But as far as like me growing up, like man, like when I see all these celebrities having kids and I see like like for example, look at Zach and Cody from like Disney Channel. They're so old now, and I'm like,
I can't.
bro,
They look weird too. I can't look at them. It's like they didn't like their bodies grew up, but their faces stayed the same. It's like, oh God, what the fuck?
yeah, they still look like kids in the face.
Oh Jesus,
You know, and even that one girl, I don't remember her. I think Sky Jackson, yeah, from Jessie. She's old too, and I remember when she was like a kid.
Who is?
Yeah,
Sky
if you look her up, you'll remember her. It's like Sky Jackson. She's old now too, and like all these kids growing up
No,
are old.
I never saw this show. Jesse, was this a Disneyland type thing or Disney Channel?
Yeah, it was on Disney Channel growing up.
I didn't. I watched more. I did watch.
Or what about what's his name? The dude from That's So Raven, the Corey.
Oh, dude, I think he's
old
a child molester now.
Oh yeah. I heard about that too. I probably shouldn't mention him, but yeah, him. He's old
Corey
too.
Corey was really in the house, a young boy's house.
Yeah, he's gonna be in the house, the jailhouse now.
Yeah, the jailhouse there. What the fuck?
But
I don't know. Wait, I might be wrong though. I don't know.
And it's crazy because I remember. I don't know if you know this, but Disney Channel, their like whole cast didn't like each other. Like their whole like main cast didn't like each other. I didn't know that. I just found out about that like I want to say like a couple weeks ago that like I saw it on Twitter and it was this montage of them singing. It was Selena Gomez, the Jonas Brothers, Demi Lovato, Miley Cyrus, and some others. They were singing, and someone quoted and was like, "Wow, looking back on this is kind of awkward knowing that they didn't like each other." And I was like, "What? They didn't like each other?" And like I went to look it up, and like apparently they didn't. Like they all just had beef. And Demi Lovato, I know she was snorting cocaine when she was younger and stuff on like Camp Rock. It's so crazy to think that like a lot of these Disney stars, man, like that dude from That's So Raven, he went through like a whole traumatic
the
episode.
older guy, the friend. Yeah, he went. I think he went missing at one point when the show was still trying to like air or whatever.
Yeah, and like he went through like drug issues, and I think recently he just like started getting clean and stuff. So like props to him for doing that. You know, that story could have ended really bad. You know, I always like to see a redemption story with people.
Yeah, I think it must be really fucking weird and hard. I understand like there's like if you're making a movie or TV show, like you're gonna have to have children be actors if like the script like has children in it. But like it must be really weird and hard to be a child actor. I'm sure not even a good portion. I would guess the majority, like at least 50+% of them, it's not really what they want to do, but they're kind of just doing it. and they're doing it at such a young age. And that's why it's always, and I fall into this trap too. Like I've either have written dumb comments or said stupid things in the past, and I will continue to. but like hating on like a singer or an actor or an athlete for the most part is really stupid, because like they're not even the true entity of what you're watching. Like the real people are the suits behind the scenes. First off, they're the ones making the real money because they're writing the checks. And they're the ones that, like, they don't give two shits about you. They just see you as a dollar sign.
And then it's crazy because there's this show I'm watching and it's called Power. I don't know if you've ever watched it or seen it.
Is it
but
new? No. Well, you're 22, so like I'm over here filing my new AARP plan, and
no, it's not new. It's been out for some years now. There's like different versions of the show too. But I just started watching it like last month or earlier this month, I would say. And there's this one character that I always heard about even before I started watching the show, and his name is Tariq. And apparently people hated this kid so much that they be sending death threats to him. And I started watching the show, and I just got to the part where I'm starting to understand why people hate this guy. Like, granted, I don't send death threats. I would never send death threats.
50 Cent in this show?
Disrespectful. Yeah, 50 Cent's in it.
It's I have a Roku, so it looks like it's free if you have a Roku, so maybe I'll check it out. Yeah,
but like people would send him death threats, and it's crazy because like I don't condone that. But then like when I was watching, I was like, man, I hate this kid too, bro. I see why people hate this guy so much.
The actor or like the real?
Oh no, the character. The character. Now granted, I don't think that means you should just send death threats. Because that's insane. But man, I hate that character so much. Like I've never, ever hated a character so much, but I hate him. And the actor sucks. Like he's not a good actor. Maybe he'll get better later on.
That's what I was going to ask. I was like, well, was the character meant to be hated? Because that means the actor's doing a good job, you know? But
no. The acting is bad, but the character is just annoying too. The character is always like, essentially he's this kid from like, he's this rich kid and he wants to be a street thug so bad. Like he wants to be a hood dude so bad. He wants to be in the streets. But it's like, dude, your parents got you out that lifestyle before you were even born. Like they lived that life, so you didn't. It'd be like if Jay-Z's kid decided, I'm gonna start selling drugs and I'm gonna go back to the streets, the same streets that Jay-Z grew up on. And it's like, what's the point of that? Like, why would you do that?
I gotta earn my stripes. It's like, dude, no, fuck that. Take the easy way out. Take the Rolls Royce. Take the Rolls Royce.
Exactly. You were born into a nice life. Like, there's no point of doing that. And it's crazy because I have friends that live that life, and I'll tell you this, and I don't think it takes a rocket science to notice, but it's very obvious that the people that live that life don't want to actually live that life. They're born into that, you know? So like when I saw that kid on the show doing it, I can't stand him. I hate him so much because it's like, you don't got to do this. And he gets so many people hurt and killed along the way. And I'm just like, oh my God, these people don't have to die if you just made the right decisions,
you love
bro.
This show. You're invested.
I do. Like literally as soon as we're done with this, I'm going to go watch it. And I gotta finish it as soon as possible.
I gotta talk to you about at least this one last thing before we go. Then, all right. I didn't see these videos yet, but I'm gonna at least watch a couple. So you have one titled "Why the Brooklyn Nets Big Three Were Destined to Fail." Then you have another video: "Is James Harden really the answer for the 7?" So explain. Like I didn't watch it yet, but like explain it. Like why did you already know right off the bat there's no way this big three is going to do anything?
Essentially I titled it that because we should have known they were destined to fail. Not that I knew off the rip they were destined to fail, but I did think when they were formed, and you can go back and find this, I was like, man, this team isn't really as great as I think a lot of people are saying, because there's obvious weaknesses with this team. But I think they will eventually win. But then, like, when injuries just kept happening and happening and happening, and Kyrie didn't want to get the vaccine, and the mandate happened, I was just like, okay, I'm done, because like this is just it's too many question marks. Like how can I trust the team that their third best player that's supposed to be a part of this big three can't play the season? Like, he can't play half of the games. Like, imagine if they're at home in a game 7, he can't play. Like, why would I trust a team like that? And like, meanwhile, you have a team like the Bucks that sure don't have the top end talent, but they're more cohesive. They're a better defensive team. They have Giannis, who I believe is the best player in the world.
I do too.
You know, like,
I do too.
yeah,
He's my I love him. I love everything about him. I think the American sports media crushes him because he's from Greece. And I think they don't pay the other dude on the Nuggets that much attention because he's not. He's not in their eyes like an American person playing basketball. But the NBA,
and also they're in small markets too. I think that also factored in.
That definitely could also be it. I think though the NBA loves it because they're both international, like huge marketing tools for the international thing. I think when the NBA changed that rule, the whole like running to the basket and just throwing your hands in the air so you can go to the free throw line, I think the NBA changed that to make the game a little bit easier for Giannis, because a lot of players were able to get a good amount of points doing that, but then they couldn't as easily. Where Giannis, he didn't need that rule. The guy's a fucking wrecking ball. He can drive it. Like, once he's in the paint, you probably already lost. He's probably getting the ball in the hoop.
Yeah, you have to foul him. That's the thing with Giannis. You have to foul him when he gets in the paint. And like, and it's I'm not gonna lie. I think the way fans, and it's not even just the media, I think some fans disrespect him too, because like, it all started when James Harden said what he said about him. Like, when James Harden said, man, I wish I was 7 foot tall and I could just run and dunk. That takes no skill at all. I got to learn how to actually have skill. I was like, man, now niggas are going to disrespect. Yeah, oh, my bad. I didn't mean to say that, but people are just going to disrespect Giannis. I was just like, man, people are going to just disrespect Giannis. And
that's what you said. I didn't even hear what you said, man.
Oh, no. I said niggas. I said the N-word. My fault.
This is my man. You're good. I've been saying fucking shit. Like,
no.
This is an explicit podcast. I don't mind.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I was just like, man, like, niggas are just gonna disrespect Giannis, you know? And I remember like, after they lost to the Heat, and people still say to this day Giannis has no skill. And I'm just like, how can you say that?
Dude, this man who the whole fucking NBA world was against. He first off hyperextended his knee going into the NBA finals. He then gets his free throws under control in a way in the NBA finals, and then to clinch the NBA finals, to clinch a title, he scores 50 points. This motherfucker literally went full Wilt Chamberlain against a Suns team that was built to win an NBA title in this era of basketball, you know, shooting threes and analytics and all that shit. This guy, like, look at his stat line in the NBA finals. The man, he literally was Wilt Chamberlain. And by the way, when I say Wilt Chamberlain, like, when people ask, like, who's the greatest basketball player of all time? It's like, listen, no one's ever going to agree on this. But I will say this. Go look at the stats that Wilt Chamberlain had when he actually cares and wants to play basketball. The man's just a freak of nature. Giannis is a freak of freaking nature. And he won an NBA title, and he went through the fucking ringer to do it. With a bad knee at first, going into the finals.
Yeah, I agree. I think Giannis is the modern day Wilt Chamberlain. Like, I honestly think,
man, dude,
if you put Wilt Chamberlain in today's league, he'd be Giannis. He'd be what Giannis is. Obviously, I'm not saying Wilt is like, back then and had the handles Giannis was, but any great player in any era is going to adapt. And Wilt today would adapt. He'd get some more handles on his game. And you can even find tape of Wilt shooting. You can find it on YouTube. He was shooting sky hooks in practice from the 3-point line and making them. And like Wilt is one of the most dominant players in all of sports, and his athleticism, he's probably the best athlete in the history of the
track and
NBA.
field. He did the high jump. The man was he was a God-given athlete, you know?
And like his highlights, I remember like some of my friends, they think his highlights like are like paid actors because of just how much he dominated them. And to be fair, that era was not very good, but like just if you just watch the tape, it doesn't make sense the things that he could actually do. Like he could dunk it from like being like so far behind the backboard and underneath it. He was crazy vertical. You know, he's one of the few guys that could actually block Kareem skyhook. Like he's just insane as an athlete. And I think Giannis is very, very similar to Wilt. I think if you put Giannis in that era, he's Wilt Chamberlain. Like he's literally going to do exactly the same things as Wilt Chamberlain.
It's funny, people in the sports media world, they should really take a step back and look at human physics and like human biology, because everyone in the sports world acts like humans from the 50s and 60s. The way we are now, we like evolved 200,000 years worth of evolution. Like they talk about the people back then as if they're not the athletes of today. It's like, do you understand how human evolution works? Like, do you think we have 9 eyes right now and like 18 fingers? It's like, dude, the reason, 2 things or 3 things. There's a lot more athletic people in the sports world today because there's a lot more money to be made in sports. A lot of the people back then had to work other jobs while playing professional sports. 2, the regiment they're on is crazy to keep their bodies really athletic. And 3, the technology we have has changed. The equipment and medicine and supplements and vitamins we like, dude, that's what's changed in the past, 50, 60 years. The people have barely changed. So if you were to have a Wilt Chamberlain be born out the womb today and grow up taking all the fucking things that people can take, like you said, he'd probably just grow up to be Giannis.
Yeah, exactly. I completely agree, because like that athleticism literally would care. Like literally his athletic numbers, this vertical 40-yard dash, that stuff would be it's crazy now. He still has the highest vertical of all time in the NBA.
That's insane.
Like I think it's like 48 inches. Like insane. the guy was literally the Slender Man. Like he was literally Mr. Fantastic. Like it doesn't make any sense. The things that he could actually do. That's why I say Wilt Chamberlain's not real, because it doesn't make sense what he could actually do. Him and even Bill Russell was a world-class athlete also. Now granted, Bill Russell, I firmly believe, and I'm not trying to be mean, but I think Bill Russell, granted he was a great leader and winner, but I think he'd be Draymond Green in today's era.
No, dude, that's disgusting. That's awful.
No.
That's the most egregious.
Don't sleep on Draymond. Don't sleep on Draymond. Don't sleep on Draymond. Draymond's good.
Sleeping on Draymond, but I don't, dude. No,
that's not a bad thing though.
That's a terrible thing.
That's not a bad thing. Think about it. Bill Russell, even back then, was not a good scorer. He was not a good scorer.
Yeah, but defense actually meant something back then.
Hey, his defense was good. Hey, but Draymond's a good defender. Draymond's a great defender. He's an elite defender.
I never said that. I never said he wasn't. But Bill Russell was the best player on a team that won 11 championships. Draymond's...
man, no, 8 teams in the league back then, bro. Those players, bro. I'm telling you right now, bro. Because me and you could walk in that league and we'd be one of the best players. I'm so serious. Me and you could become the next. We'd be the Shaq and Kobe if we walked in that era. I'm so serious. Hey, no, bro. That's another guy. Bob Cousy stinks, bro. He's not good, man.
You are disgusting. Okay. What is going on right now, bro?
I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean, bro. But some of those guys would not, dude. Jamie, be honest.
Why? Because Bob Cousy looks like your uncle who's drunk on Thanksgiving.
Okay, I'll say this about Bob Cousy.
What?
Bob Cousy, if you go watch his tape, he was doing some things that was pretty like revolutionary for that time. But outside of like the greats, because I think all the greats can translate their game. Let's be real. Those random starters and those occasional all-stars, they wouldn't even make the NBA in today's league, bro.
What about Pistol Pete Maravich?
Definitely ahead of his time. I can see him. He's great.
That is the great ahead. He also looks like Dimitri Martin, but he was ahead of his time.
Yeah, I firmly agree with Pistol Pete. He's ahead of his time. Jerry West, he was shooting from like the 3-point line when there was no 3-point line. He's ahead of his time. Elgin Baylor, all-time athlete. You know, like the greats are always going to stand out.
You just called Bill Russell Draymond Green.
Hey, but there's no actually, you know what? Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace.
Ooh, I do like Ben Wallace, man. I think Ben and Rasheed Wallace should both be in the Hall of Fame. I think Rasheed Wallace is a highly underrated NBA player.
Yeah, I think Ben Wallace is in now, I think.
Is he?
He just got in. Yeah, he just got in recently.
Okay.
And I actually completely agree, because Ben Wallace, I was actually really annoyed that he wasn't in for the longest, because I don't get how nobody from that Pacers or that Pistons team didn't make it for a good
because people don't defense, man. Like, people forget that defense is part of the game. They really do.
Yeah,
I know it's weird now because it's a lot of 3-point shooting, but at least in 2004, it was highly still about offense and defense.
And I think, no, even today, I still do believe defense matters. Defense still wins, because if you look at all the teams, like just this past year, the Bucks, one of the best defensive teams in the league. And I think people forget that basketball, like, offense is always going to keep getting better over and over, because the rules favor more offensive players than defensive players. But in the playoffs, they allow a lot more physicality and players get away with more physical things like that. That's why a guy like Harden struggles a lot in the playoffs, because they're not going to blow everything for him. But when you look at defense, like, I think a lot of people also don't know what defense is. People think defense is just stopping one guy from scoring. No, basketball is not 1-on-1. Basketball is 5-on-5. We're not stopping one guy from scoring. We're stopping the team from scoring.
Dude, I don't. And this is gonna sound so stupid, because I like who am I to say? I watch, dude. Basketball was the number one sport I played when I was a kid. I didn't play like you, like for school teams, but we would play pickup games all the time, which I'm sure you did too. And dude, I watch NBA players, and again, I would never be able to do anything that they do, but I watch these guys who are bad on defense. It's like, bro, see your man, see the ball. How the fuck do they lose their guy so quickly? Like, there's a guy wide open in the corner for a 3. It's like, dude, how did you lose him? How? See your man, see the ball, and I get astonished.
Lack of effort.
It's astonishing how people would be they're always wide open in the NBA. It's like, bro, how can your defense be this? It's not that. Dude, I don't know. You speak some like knowledge into me. Is it me, or am I wrong? Like, I don't know, man.
Nah, man. Like, I think when it comes to defense, somebody can always, now obviously height and size matters. Like, if you're Isaiah Thomas, there's nothing you can do. You're just always going to be a bad defender. You're 5'9". But when I look at somebody like Trae Young, I don't think there's any excuse for him to be as bad as he is on defense, because you can always put in effort. And if you put in effort, you can be a good team defender. Like, look at Steph Curry. Steph Curry is not a liability. Like, so many people say Steph Curry is a bad defender. And look, Steph is not like he's not going to shut you down. He's no Chris Paul. But Steph is a good team defender. If you're putting in effort, you can be a good team defender and be a positive.
That's
like,
why
Steph led the league in steals before. Steph is a good off-ball defender. You can get in passing lanes. Iverson did the same thing. Like, even if you don't have the height and size to be able to be some lockdown on-ball defender, guess what? There's more to defense than on-ball. Like, you can be an off-ball defender. You can be a help defender.
Dude. That's why I think Rasheed should be in the Hall of Fame too, because I saw him in his later years with the Knicks. He was like a linebacker is to the defense of a football team. He's calling out. He's the point guard for defense. He was calling out plays. Like, he was telling the guys where to go and shit. It's like, dude, that's yes. Like that's, people forget that that's a thing. And by the way, if someone puts up a solid pick and you can't get around it and that leads to a wide open 3, I get that. I'm talking about, I see players who are lost, where They're like, they look to the left and right, like, where's the guy I was supposed to be guarding? It's like, how? There's 5, dude, and they're wearing the same jersey. Like, how did you lose him?
Nah, I completely agree. Because some guys are just bad at it. You know, some guys are just naturally not good defenders. And that's just kind of how it is. And like I said, I think Draymond said this too. Some people look at defense and they don't know what they're watching. You know, like they think it's just, getting blocks and steals and locking someone up. No, like Draymond even said it, like if you're just a great on-ball defender and you suck at everything else, you're not a great defender. You're not. You could be the best on-ball defender in history. If you suck at everything else, you're not a great defender. Because guess what? On-ball defense is just one-on-one. Basketball is 5-on-5. If you are letting people backdoor cut you every time, if you're letting people, slash on you, if you're not good at getting in passing lanes, if you can't even help, what's the point? Like that means you can only play defense and be effective in one aspect.
It's like an offensive player who's only good on ISO and doing 101.
Exactly.
It's like, are you good at passing? Are you good at setting up a shot for your teammate or whatever? It's like, dude, there's a lot more than just ISO.
Mm-hmm. And I think that like and I firmly believe, like defense, even today, is so underrated by people because they just don't know what they're watching. They don't know what defense is. And like, I have so many friends that will sit there and be like, oh, offense is more valuable. And I'm like, okay, fine. For individual players, yes. But that doesn't mean that like, if someone is an elite defender, that you just cast off what they do as a defender, because team defense matters just as much as team offense. And I would actually even argue team defense is, you could argue, more important, because you can win a championship with a suspect offense and an elite defense, but you cannot win a championship with a suspect defense and an elite offense. You just can't. It's just almost impossible to do so.
I think when the Warriors won their championships, they were still not like they weren't the best team defensively, but they were one of the better teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were one of the best teams on defense because Draymond, KD was having the best defensive years of his career. Steph, good team defender. Clay, a great defender. Iguodala, defender.
Yeah, Iguodala's Clay's an underrated defender. Durant, I think, is just a better than you would think defender by default because the way his body is, these long, lanky arms, man. It's just, it's hard to get by him.
He's a good shot blocker. He's a really good shot blocker.
Yeah, but you also called Bill Russell Draymond. Goddamn, I can't get that over my head.
Look, I'm not trying to be mean, but Draymond would dominate back then too, bro. Though that that competition, you know what? Like I said,
you're acting like
Ben
the 8th
Wallace is a
seed
better
has a
example.
chance on going deep in the NBA playoffs.
Okay, Ben Wallace. Is Ben Wallace fine?
I told you, I think Ben Wallace is a Hall of Famer.
Okay, yeah. So Draymond's gonna make the Hall of Fame too. You know that?
I do. I think the toughest out of them is going to be Thompson because he's dealt with some injuries the past couple of years.
Yeah, I think Clay will. I think all of them will make it.
I do too.
The one guy I don't think will make it, but he may have an argument. I don't think he should, but it's probably Iguodala.
No,
I say Iguodala.
I don't think he'll. No, they can't.
I don't think he should.
I don't think
he
should,
too. But
listen, he got an MVP. He got a Finals MVP. I mean, how much?
He low-key didn't deserve that, but yeah.
So there you go. Like, we can't be just giving out. No, he can't.
I think as time goes by, people are gonna realize he really because like I know that he played amazing defense on LeBron. Don't get me wrong, but LeBron didn't have anybody on that team, and they literally went 6 anyway. And granted, he did help change the series because they were down 2-1, and then he started and they won the rest of the games. But like, they still don't win those games if Curry doesn't hoop the way he did. So like, his value just added on to what they already were. If Curry's not even playing at like an all-star level, they're losing, like no matter what. So I think a lot of people just completely forget that. And shout out to Dellavedova. Dellavedova did his thing also in that series. He did okay.
Dellavedova. Why do I remember that name? From the Cavaliers?
Yeah, he was like that role player that was like
that
always
guy.
dirty.
I hated that guy. He was dirty. He was a dirty player who was insanely overrated because he played with LeBron.
Yeah,
then he got a big contract and never did anything because he was never that good.
No, he's not. He's literally
He's not good at all.
Patrick Beverly he's Patrick Beverly without any type of talent at all. That's what
Patrick
he is.
Beverly
like,
can actually defend, you know?
yeah.
He's
Dellavedova, hey, Dellavedova had some
oh my god. You think of Rio
he wasn't a
Chalmers,
good
but
defender.
not good at basketball.
Yeah, Dellavedova's he's a pest, if anything. And I'll admit, him and Mozgov, they benefited so much from the LeBron carry. Like LeBron carried them in that one finals, and like they got bags because of it. It was crazy.
Who was that one guy with the Cavs that had like the curly hair afro?
Oh, Verjao.
There's that dude, man. You want to talk about a guy who was thankful LeBron was on his team at one point? Holy shit, dude.
Yeah, he was a bum. He was not that good.
You know what? It was funny when when it was LeBron, who was it? LeBron, Kevin Love, and who was the third guy that was part of the Cavs team at that point? Was it Wade? Did he get Wade to go to the Cavs? No, right?
Yeah. Wade did go to the Cavs that one year. They were bad, and then they had to trade everybody.
Yeah, I'm getting old, dude. Dude, I was never that high on Kevin Love because I usually have like a sour taste in my mouth, and this even goes with Anthony Davis, to players that put up really good stats, but their teams aren't really winning anything. And he was doing that with the Timberwolves.
Wait, who are you talking about?
Kevin Love.
Who? Oh, yeah. But to be fair, the Timberwolves won. They're really bad. And I remember like the last year he was in Minnesota. He was they almost made the playoffs. I think they were also above 500 when he played. He missed like a couple games, but they almost did.
Let me ask you this, because I had multiple people clowning me when I said this when we were playing basketball. I said, dude, Carmelo Anthony's better than Kevin Love. And they were clowning me because they were like, yo, you don't even know what you're talking about. I was like, what the fuck? What world am I in that Kevin Love is better than Carmelo Anthony?
Oh, Kevin Love. Look, Kevin Love at his peak was an amazing player. Don't get me wrong. But Carmelo Anthony was somebody that consistently, granted, they didn't get far, but he was consistently leading his team to the playoffs, being just as good. He was being a better scorer than Kevin Love. Solid rebounder, and like they were winning. Like he led his team to more wins. Kevin Love, I'm not gonna say empty stats, but he definitely benefited from just not having that much talent on his team, and he did his best. Don't get me wrong, but Carmelo Anthony, come on now, it's Melo. Let's get that out there. And they both suck on defense anyway, so I don't even want to hear nothing about it.
And Melo was the best player on a team that went to a Western Conference Finals and really battled hard against I think that was the year the Lakers won.
Actually, no. He wasn't the best.
Allen Iverson was not the best player on that team.
No, it wasn't Iverson.
Who?
Because they traded Iverson. It was Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups was the best player on that team. And I maintain, you know, I'm going to be honest. I know you're a Knicks fan. No,
I'm not trying to dick suck Melo, but like, come on, man.
Oh, no. Melo, no. Go and watch and look at the numbers. Melo was not better than Chauncey. Chauncey was a better defender. He was the playmaker, and even as far as scoring, he was more efficient.
Are you saying that because what he did with the Pistons?
No, because he also was good with the Nuggets too. I think the first year or so. I don't know how many years he was there, but I know the year they went to the conference finals, he was really good with them. I'm serious. Hey, look, we could pull up. I'll pull up the numbers because people really do forget now. I'll pull it up here. It was 2009, right? They went to the conference finals.
Points. Wait, it was 2008, 2009 season?
Yeah. He averaged 18 and 6 on 42, 41, 91 shooting. Melo averaged 23, 7 and 3 on 44, 37 with 79 shooting. And in the playoffs, mind you, he's playing great defense. Melo averaged 27, 6 rebounds, 4 assists on 45, 36, 83 shooting. Chauncey Billups, 21 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds on 46, 47. And he was shooting crazy from 3. 47% from 3 and 91% at the free throw line. He's more efficient than Melo, better defense than Melo, and a better playmaker than Melo. So I'd probably go with Chauncey. I think Chauncey was the best player. Melo was good. Don't get me wrong. And this is not Melo's prime. Melo was only like 24. So he was not in his prime yet. I just think a lot of people, I'm telling you, I'm not trying to be mean, but I think Melo is one of the most overrated players that the NBA's ever seen, because he's selfish. I think he's a very selfish player. Like the way he played, his attitude. He stayed in New York. No offense, but he stayed in New York when he knew they had no chance to win, because he wanted that bag, and he didn't want to sacrifice. He didn't want to sacrifice his game. He didn't want to sacrifice his money. And hey, get your money, but it obviously cost him, because people forget the big three was supposed to be Melo, Wade, and LeBron. Actually, it was probably best that it didn't happen that way. But Melo signed a 5-year deal because he wanted more money. Wade and LeBron signed 3-year deals. So they were like, all right, I guess you're not going to join us. And then he had free agency. When he was with the Knicks, he could have joined MVP Rose and young Jimmy Butler, but said, nah, I'm going to stay in New York. And, look at how bad they became over those last couple of years when he was in New York. And no disrespect, not trying to be mean, but, y'all were pretty bad. But yeah, I think Melo's a pretty overrated player, in my opinion, not going to lie.
You called Bill Russell Draymond Green.
Hey, he kind of is. Not going to lie.
I hate you.
That era was pretty bad, bro. Put me in that era, I'm the MVP.
We just said Wilt Chamberlain was in that era. Hey,
Wilt Chamberlain there's always anomalies. Look, when I say that, I'm more so. And when I say Bill Russell's Draymond, I'm low-key kind of trolling. I think the better example is Ben Wallace. I think Ben Wallace is what Bill Russell is.
All right, hold on. Draymond Green led the NBA in one stat 1 year in his entire career, which was steals. 2 steals per
against
game.
Real competition, by the way. Against real competition. But go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then what's the point? Like anything I say, like Bill Russell.
Because Bill Russell. Hey, Bill Russell. That dude. 8 teams of trash.
8
teams of those were not good players. Sorry, they were dribbling with one hand. They didn't know how to finish with both hands. Like there was no 3-point line. Dude, man, I don't want that arrow. So, bro, Jamie, you've seen the tape, right? You've seen what those dudes look like.
I'll pop
those
into
niggas
VHS
were trash
copy every now and then.
Besides, there was segregation was going on. Black players couldn't even play in the league.
I think Bill Russell was black. I think he was black, right?
I mean, of course, but like there wasn't that much integration as far as like black players coming in. So Bill Russell was just ahead of his time. He was just one of the first black guys that got in there. Let's just be honest. A great player. All time. He's in my top 10. He's in my top 10. He's number 10, but he's in my top 10.
I want you to do the great player, by the way. But wait. All right, hold on. See, this is where I think you're flip flopping in a way, because let me guess, is Draymond Green anywhere close to your top 10?
No, because I mean he doesn't have 11 rings.
So then why is Bill Russell in your top 10?
Because okay, here it is. This is how it works. Because like when I judge players all time, I do put into context. And like I said, I'm somewhat trolling here about Bill.
Don't you dare.
But I do put into context. I put into context what you did relative to your era. You know what I'm saying? Like Bill Russell was the best player in his era. And he won 11 championships.
Oh, you think he was better
even
than
as a player coach? The thing is with Wilt, right? Wilt Chamberlain was not a great leader. I think whenever you have these high score seasons, it's usually just a product of either the team being bad or you're just a black hole and you're just always wanting with the ball. And you can find stories of Wilt Chamberlain fighting teammates, being mad that they stole his rebounds, and he was a stat padder. That's what he was. He was a stat padder. And literally the year they won a championship,
where there was no 3-point line.
No, I understand because the comp was trash. But even if you look at a lot of the times, if you look at a lot of the times that he faced Bill Russell, they went to a lot of game 7s. So I don't even want to hear the whole team, Bill Russell's team. If you go to game 7, anything can happen in game 7, right? That's what we always say. And Bill was just always outplaying him in those game 7s. And a big reason was because Wilt Chamberlain just was very, very selfish with how he played. He always wanted the ball. And the season that they finally broke through and won a title in his career, it was the year I believe he averaged a career high in assists with like 8 a game. His scoring went down, his shots cut by like 12. And like he had a whole new coach, whole new system, and they emphasized a lot more ball movement. And lo and behold, the first year he did that, they won a championship.
But he also led the league in rebounds still that year.
Yeah, of course. No, I mean rebounding. That's fine. I have no problem with that. I was mainly referring to the scoring aspect, and he's still a great player. But I will admit, Will Chamberlain is not in my top 10.
No, what?
I know, but he's not there. He's not. Bill Russell's there. Bill Russell. You want me to say my top 10?
What? Yeah. What's your top 10? You did now? Yeah, dude. This has been. I fucking love this. Yeah, I want to know your top 10 right now.
Okay.
Top 10s are fun.
I'll go Michael Jordan. I mean, because
are you going from
Michael
1
Jordan.
to 10, or are you just naming them?
Yeah, 1 to 10. 1 to 10.
Oh, you should like 10
Michael
to 1
Jordan.
then.
Nah, I'll go 1 to 10.
All right.
I'll go 1 to 10 because 10 to 1. 1 to 10, I'll go Michael Jordan. LeBron James at 2. At 3, I'll go Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. 4, I'll go Magic Johnson. At 5, I'll go Tim Duncan. 6, I'll go Kobe Bryant. 10, I'll go Shaq. Or I said 10. At 7, I'll go Shaq. 8, I'll go Larry Bird. 9, I'll go Hakeem Olajuwon. And 10, I'll go Bill Russell.
It's pretty. See, I don't have a list of players in front of me to like. I wish I had like players to be like, you're not put. But first thing I thought about is, you really put Kobe or even Shaq over Larry Bird?
Okay, here's the thing with Larry Bird. Larry Bird,
this guy's
his longevity,
shit on everything.
No. Larry Bird, no. Larry Bird, amazing in any era. One of the most skilled offensive players of all time. Gifted passer, amazing rebounder, solid defender. No issue with Larry Bird at all. But Larry Bird's longevity, it isn't what Kobe's was.
True. And
I believe the defender, he's not the defender Kobe was. And I think Shaq peaked higher than Larry Bird. That's just how I look at it.
So like Shaq's best like 2-3 years are better than Larry's best 2-3 years in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also think people forget when Larry Bird won his first championship, he had like 2 8-point games. You know what I'm saying? Like people forget that he didn't even win the finals MVP that year too. I think it was like Cedric Maxwell, Cornbread Maxwell won finals MVP. And look, finals MVP is not the end all be all, but when it comes to these players, you got to nitpick.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Fair. No, that's fair. Yeah, and that's a good way of saying like you got to like when people like you put so and so better than that. It's like, dude, we're literally judging the best of the best of the best of the best of it. Like it's the 1% of the 1% of the 1% of the one. Like we're no one's head and shoulders like better.
Yeah, like Steph will. If Steph never wins a finals MVP, he's not going to enter my top 10. But if he does get one eventually and another championship, I put him in the top 10.
You should watch a YouTuber called Barry McCormick on.
I know him. Yeah,
you do?
He's such a troll.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. But he's fucking good, man. He's really good.
I love when he trolls Brady. That's like one of the funniest things.
Yes. While you're beating off there, by the way.
I think. Oh, you said what?
All I hear is you just going boop, 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 boop.
Oh, no, I think I'm just hitting my table. My bad. I have headphones on, so I can't even hear what my leg is doing. My fault. Wow, did it really sound like that I was beating off just now?
Yeah, I heard Vaseline opening up in the background.
Oh,
you're like, oh yeah, fucking Bill Russell and Bob Cousy. This is
Hey, ain't no way I'm getting hard to track. I'm telling you that right now.
The Coos, really? The Coos isn't letting it loose?
No. But dude, who what else about my list did you I
like that Tim Duncan's there. I'm at the point though that I'm annoyed of people going, Tim Duncan's so underrated. It's like he's not, because everyone and their mother calls him underrated now. So I think he's rated at this point. Everyone knows he's great. Everyone knows he's a top 15, 10 player of all time. He's amazing. Like that. I
think he's more so. I think he's a little disrespected though, because I think people, and I think it's mainly Kobe fans, and I think it's the people that like the tween hezzies, step backs, you know, because like it's very obvious that people prefer perimeter players over bigs. And I think that's affected guys like Tim Duncan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. The one guy I say it probably didn't affect was Shaq, because his highlights are so dominant to where like, oh, you just got to give him his credit. And people know his peak was just insane. But even him, it somewhat affects him. Hakeem Olajuwon, Bill Russell, all the bigs.
Oh, that was another
I
thing
think
about
it's
your
just,
list. Olajuwon. Dude,
yeah, Hakeem.
maybe the most underrated superstar of all time. I think the only negative about his career is that the 2 championships his team won were when Jordan was like gone for basically a year and a half. Outside of that, the guy was doing and still did things that big men still can't do today.
His post moves, the defense, everything so far ahead of his time.
He was just he literally was the perfect center. So
I agree.
and a lot of people don't have him in a top 10, and I can totally understand putting him in a top 10 list.
Yeah, I think Hakeem is there. I think sometimes I go between Hakeem and like Bill Russell. I can move them back and forth, honestly.
This is a better question than shit. I feel like I'm keeping you way too long. All right, how about this? We'll do this little game and then we'll call it done. All right. You know, you need a starting 5, point guard, shooting guard. You know, your forwards, your center. Like, who's your starting 5?
Ooh, that's a good question. At the point guard, I'd go Steph. I think Steph is the best point guard ever. I don't think he's the greatest. I think because there's a difference between greatness and being the best. I think Magic is the greatest point guard, but I think Steph is the best point guard, like talent wise and peak wise. At the 2 guard, I'd go Michael Jordan. I don't even think that's debatable.
I don't know, Drexler maybe.
Nah.
I like Drexler.
I love
too.
Kobe. I love Kobe, Drexler, Iverson, Dwayne Wade, but no.
Nah, you're right.
At the 3, I'll go Michael. No, not Michael Jordan. I'll go LeBron James at the 3. I think that's self-explanatory. One of the greatest playmakers, scorers, everything. Peak all-time defender at his peak, all of that. At the 4, and I have to pick players at that position, right?
Yeah, because I understand where you're going, right? Because like Tim Duncan, he's like is he a center? Is he a power forward? Like,
oh no, because I was thinking maybe I could go like a Larry Bird at the 4, or a Kevin Durant at the 4, or somebody at the 4, like you know.
I get it. It's it's weird when you're 3, 4, and 4, 5. It's a weird because even someone would say, "Whoa, Steph Curry." It's like, well, what era are we playing in? You know?
Yeah, I'd probably go. Okay, I go Kevin Garnett at the 4, because I think Kevin Garnett at his peak is just as good as Tim Duncan. I just think Kevin Garnett was in that shitty ass team, the Timberwolves, and they just wasted his prime doing a bunch of nothing, except that one year they made the conference finals when he won MVP, carrying all those bums. Not all of them, but a lot of bums on that team. So I would probably go Kevin Garnett at the 4. And then at the 5, this is really tough. You got Hakeem Olajuwon, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Oof. I go Hakeem Olajuwon. That's what I do. I go
so you're
Hakeem.
Gonna get some scoring from your 5. You're gonna be like, "Yo, man, I want 20 points a night from my 5."
Yeah, and I think the reason is because I think Hakeem's a better defender. I think Hakeem's a better defender. The scoring, I mean, Kareem's a great scorer, obviously all-time leader in scoring. But I do believe a lot of his numbers in the 70s, I still think he'd put up great numbers any era, but he did face, like, that was probably the weakest era of basketball. Not just because of the talent, but like people forget the crack. Like players were doing crack in that era. Like there were players dropping dead, you know, doing crack. That's why I think the least amount of highlights you can find online are from the 70s. because so many players, like the NBA was in a really dark place. That's why Magic and Bird, they saved the league. People really forget about that. Like, for example, I think David Thompson had issues with drugs, and he was a really great player back then. And that's the case with a lot of players in the 70s.
Yeah, in the first half of the 70s, you also had the ABA was a thing, so, and they, I mean, they, like, Dr. J he's also one of the greatest basketball players of all time, and a good chunk of his prime wasn't even in the NBA at all. In the ABA.
That's why I honestly think Dr. J is one of the hardest players to rank all time, because it's not like he wasn't great in the NBA, but his numbers don't look as good as they was in the ABA. And I don't know if I should judge the ABA with such crazy standards, because like not everybody was even in the NBA that was in the ABA, and some of the players from the ABA, once they came to the NBA, weren't as good. So it's really, really hard to judge Dr. J's career. I still think he's an all-time great. I'd probably have him in my top 20, 25 if I'm making a list. But it's just very, very hard to judge somebody like that. It'd be like if the NBA doesn't have a rival now. So it's a little different.
It's kind of like judging at this point baseball players coming from the Japanese league into MLB. Like Ichiro Suzuki, he was an amazing player in Japan, but then he came to America and it's like, oh shit, he's still an amazing player. But there are players who come from Japan to regular MLB and they're just, like you said, they're not as good. But yeah, you can't really, like, that's an amazing starting five. You can't go wrong with most starting fives you pick.
Hey, I want to ask you something.
Yo.
You watch baseball, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I'm not a baseball like enthusiast, but I watch it casually. Do you think, like, what is the problem? Like, why are they doing Barry Bonds the way they're doing him? Because like I really think that's messed up, that like he really can't make the Hall of Fame because of this whole steroid thing. And I get it. Steroids did ruin baseball damn near. But like people just forget that like so many other guys did steroids that are in the Hall of Fame, and he wasn't even necessarily caught, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like people just think he lied.
Well, where's the proof, man? Like he did steroids.
No, he did it. Yeah, he did it. We know he did. Everybody knows he did.
Yeah.
But even before he was doing it, though, correct me if I'm wrong, he was already a Hall of Famer, right?
He had a terrific stat. Like, so, all right, just you opened up a huge thing. One, real quick, as I've gotten older and as I continue to get older, my mindset will probably continue like this, but the Hall of Fame has kind of become kind of gay. And I mean that in the most Lizzie McGuire type way possible, meaning like it's lame, meaning like keeping Pete Rose out of the Hall of Fame. It's like everyone and their mother knows Pete Rose was an amazing player. All right. Everyone and their mother knows that Barry Bonds is an amazing player. So like, yeah, you might keep him out of the Hall of Fame, but a vast majority of people in their minds are like,
Pete Rose, is he the one that, I don't know for sure, but is he the one that was like betting on games that he pitched in?
No, not he managed. He claims to never bet against his team to like lose, but he used to bet on his teams to win. And baseball has a very, and also Pete Rose he beats to his own fucking drums, man. And like baseball and the Hall of Fame seem to have given him chances, but like it feels like every time baseball's like, all right, Pete, let's mend ties. Pete says or does something, it's like, dude, stop putting gasoline on this bridge. We're trying to build it, for the love of God. And he won't.
I understand. I understand that.
But so one thing with steroids is it doesn't just make, a lot of people like want to think like steroids, and I'm sure like the stuff that is around today is insane, make people just bigger. It's like, dude, it makes, I've heard stories of people who have played in like low A baseball. It's like, dude, I've taken steroids before, and like your pupils are like, you're so laser focused. The ball in a way sometimes looks like a fucking beach ball coming your way. It's not just about strength. Like you literally become in some ways a cyborg. Like you really do. So when people talk about steroids and HGH and stuff on 24/7 Sports Talk, it's like, it really sounds like, and I don't even really know what I'm talking about. But the people that talk about it, it's like, dude, I don't think you know what it's not just, it's not like you just did extra curls and tricep extensions or something.
Hey, by the way, fun fact.
Yo.
I don't mean to cut you off, but fun fact: Kyrie Irving just dropped 40 points in the first half of the game.
What?
Yeah,
Who are they playing?
The Magic, to be fair, but they legit might blow these guys out, or not blow them out. He legit might drop 80 today.
He's not. He's not going to drop 80, but
yeah, he's not. But
it's
crazy.
Can we at least get a 60 burger? Can we get 60?
Oh, he's gonna definitely get 60. But go ahead, finish what you're saying. My fault.
No, dude, that's awesome, man. Why can't the Knicks have that for once in the god?
Hey, y'all almost did. Y'all almost did. Remember?
With who? Who did the Knicks almost have?
Remember, y'all were supposed to get Kyrie, KD, and
and Zion.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Yeah, thanks, dude. Now,
I'm sorry.
Now we got Cam Reddish, RJ Barrett, and if we get Zion, it's going to be after he loses his left foot to diabetes. So awesome, great. He'll be on a
Zion is just fat, bro.
Yeah,
Zion is fat.
Big boy, man. He's a big dude. That's all I can say. But real quick with the whole like why are you doing Barry Bonds dirty? It's the people who vote on the Hall of Fame. They just have it's a beauty contest in a way, man. It really is. Like Albert Bell isn't in the Hall of Fame. Why? Because he was an asshole to reporters. Yeah, like and did he do bad things off the field? He also did that. That plays a role. But yeah, there are a ton of writers who steroids is a no-go. If you do steroids, not in hell are you getting in. And also Barry Bonds was one of the faces, if not the face of that steroid era. So, it's bigger target. Yeah. Bigger target was on your back kind of thing.
Yeah, I completely see that. I think it's pretty lame though still, because like there are guys that they know did steroids that are in the Hall of Fame, and it's just kind of, to me, like if he was I would judge it like this. If he was already a Hall of Famer before he was using the roids, which he was, then just throw him in there. Like he already proved himself. But, I guess, they just want to disqualify certain people. And it kind of reminds me of the NFL. And I know this is a little different. But like the fact that it took T.O. like 2 tries to make it because they don't like him is just lame. And I think
it's a big
contest. Reason.
That's all. It's a beauty contest.
Yeah. And I think the big reason why he doesn't want to get in, or they don't want to put him in, is because he beat them. Like he never admitted to doing steroids, right? Because like I know he said he didn't do it and all that. But yeah, that's crazy to think about. And he like arguably the GOAT, because I know Babe Ruth is the GOAT, right? Like he's seen as the GOAT, even though he faced like weak competition.
Oh my God.
But hey, he did. Baseball didn't even have any black people, so I don't really care about that.
Well, whose fault is that?
Hey, blame America. That's all I have to say. It's America's fault.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
If he really wanted to be the GOAT, he would make a time machine and come to the future, but he didn't. He can't be the GOAT in my book.
I'll tell you one thing, Zion Williamson, he's starting to get a belly like Babe Ruth.
But yeah, he doesn't count.
Well, that's the thing. The only numbers that Barry Bonds on steroids is comparable to is Babe Ruth. Like him or Ty Cobb. Like it's like numbers that shouldn't exist.
And wasn't he was blackballed out of Memphis?
I think, I don't know for a fact if he admitted or didn't admit overall. I think you might be right that he never admitted doing roids. I don't know if maybe like new things came out. But I think he was also, I think he became a bench coach for a team at one point. Let me look that up. I remember he was a bench coach for someone, or maybe even.
But I do know, because like even if we look at the numbers, like he was still getting like crazy RBIs. He was still getting crazy. Because I'm looking at it in his last year, he had 28 home runs, 66 RBIs. Like, this is crazy here.
His
Like,
stats are insane. David
Yeah.
Sampson on Barry Bonds' tenure as Marlins hitting coach. It was a complete disaster. Oof.
and I remember like one of my like uncles, like in the barbershop, they were telling me, and this guy was 42 years old. They were telling me that this is definitely steroids. Oh my gosh. But they were telling me that like they just didn't want him. Like it was like kind of like a insider thing with it's kind of like Kaepernick, right? Or like they're not gonna come out and say, hey, we don't want to pick you up because of this, and this. It's just kind of like a mutual understanding between the owners. Like they don't gotta meet up, but they can just mutually be like, yeah, we're not gonna sign this guy. And I think that's kind of how it was with Barry Bonds, because like he was just, I don't even get why, because like why would you not want to have Barry team? Maybe he said, I don't know if he said something at the time, because I'm not like a baseball a dedicated baseball fan. But yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about that. He was putting up, man, this guy was 42. Oh my God. This is definitely steroids.
You know what it's like for a modern day baseball player taking steroids? You know what it's equivalent to? A white player in the 20s playing in a baseball league that has no black people. It's like, how good is he? It's like a white person playing with no black people in your sport. Oh, so the Winter Olympics. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I genuinely, bro. That's why I'm not saying I don't respect that like era, but like the segregation era of sports, bro, it just doesn't really, because like, how can I sit there and respect that when like, I'm sorry, like I just can't.
It's not like he was holding the picket signs like don't let him in.
I'm not saying that, but it's like, let's add context. Like I don't get, like people were throwing like 70-mile-per-hour fastballs, bro. Am I wrong? Is that not what they were doing?
Yeah, but all right. See, this is the best way I think to compare players is just compare them to what they were able to do in their era. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. But because if that's the case, is Bill Russell the GOAT?
He hit more home runs than teams did in years. He was hitting home runs during the dead ball era.
Hey, but does that mean that Bill Russell's the GOAT?
Bill Russell is definitely one of the greatest players, because in his era, besides him, it was either him or Wilt Chamberlain.
That's my thing, though. So at a certain point, like, even though you can have like the accomplishments and numbers, you still should contextualize and be like, look, like, granted, he had these numbers, but he was facing weaker competition than this guy, and there were less teams, so that, I don't want to say it disqualifies you, but it should contextualize what you were doing. And I guess it's a little bit different with baseball, because like, Bill Russell wasn't the offensive player Jordan was, and kind of nitpick that. And with Bill, I'm actually looking at Babe Ruth's numbers. These are actually pretty crazy numbers right here. But still, I don't care, bro. No black players, bro. I don't care. No black players. Oh my God. Let's be real. Hank Aaron, put him in that era. He's the greatest player of all.
Hank Aaron is obviously damn, I'm looking at Babe Ruth stats again, dude. Dude's pretty good.
That's insane.
It is insane. It's all bolded out. Like, he led the league in everything for like a decade and a half.
Hey, but I'm looking at Hank Aaron's stats here.
I know what you're about to say. What are you about to say?
Okay, they're actually, Babe Ruth's putting up some better home runs.
Hank Aaron, listen, Hank Aaron is obviously also one of the greatest baseball players ever. He is also an accumulator.
What do you mean?
Meaning, you take Hank Aaron's best 5 seasons, they don't touch what Babe Ruth. It's not.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's really, not
like, and this is no disrespect to fucking Hank Aaron. He's one of the greatest players ever, but it's night and day. Like, it's.
No, I agree. I'm looking at this. Is really, Babe Ruth is not fair. This is not fair. I'm looking at his best year. He had 60 home runs, 164 RBIs. Hank Aaron, like, he's not even sniffing a 50 home run season?
Hank Aaron never had a 50 home run season in his entire career. I mean, Giancarlo Stanton had 59 a few years ago. Hank Aaron never had a 50 home run season.
Okay, yeah. The only one I can think of, bro. Yeah, this guy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Barry Bonds was definitely using steroids because this guy was 36 years old and had 73 home runs and 130. How does that even make sense?
Not only were there was no.
Oh my God, this dude went from 49. Oh my God, he went from 34 home runs to 49 home runs to 73. Bro, oh my God, that doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even make sense.
Or Bonds?
No, Barry Bonds.
Oh, you're talking about Bonds this time.
Yeah, this dude had 73 home runs just randomly at 36 years old, just hit 73 home runs out of nowhere.
So you have to remember,
that is insane.
Babe Ruth started his career in the dead ball era. The dead ball era was like no one could hit. He led the league. I granted it was 95 games, but he led the league in home runs with 11 home runs. Like it was just. But then he's like even in the end of the dead ball era, he was hitting like 29 home runs. Like, look at dude, his stats these are just crazy numbers. But apparently now Babe Ruth you said he was on steroids also while not playing against minorities?
Hey, I never said Babe Ruth was on steroids.
Oh, okay,
but
you said Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds was on. Well, I'm actually looking at, I'm looking at, obviously Babe Ruth didn't use steroids, but I'm looking, and it's actually crazy to think about because Babe Ruth only played 2,503 games in comparison to Hank Aaron, who played 32 or 3,000, almost 3,300. And the home run gap and even the RBI gap is not much at all. That's actually pretty crazy to think. Okay, that is pretty crazy. Now that I think about it, that is pretty crazy. Like I said, I'm not a baseball enthusiast here, but still, weak era. Put me in that era. I'm going to become the greatest baseball player of all time. I'm so serious. No, because like that's how I look at it. Like these, man, I'm not trying to be mean, but a lot of these dudes was not good, man. You put me in that era, I'm becoming the greatest athlete of all time.
To be fair, though, I think baseball, of all the sports we talked about, is a very unique sport.
Yeah, hitting at baseball is hard. I'm not gonna lie,
and it's different. You don't like Joe DiMaggio was like stick and bones in a way, you know. Like Altuve is, what is he, 5'8" or whatever or less? Like,
actually, I take that back. Don't put me in that era because I actually want to be able to sit down in the same shops as white people.
I was gonna say you also don't want a brick thrown through your window because you hit a home run that night.
Before these guys, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. In terms of like personal struggle, I would say that's where I look at Bill Russell and even Jackie Robinson, obviously, especially Bill Russell being in Boston during that time period. Yeah. Like he went through a lot of personal adversity.
Dude, there was probably people who hated him that were Celtics fans. Not probably, there definitely were Celtic fans that hated him just because he was black.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like if you go online, people clown like the Celtics fans for being like racist because you know Boston is a really I don't want to say racist city, but you know we can leave it at that. But
as far as people in Boston, that's fair.
Yeah, and like I remember like they were. I remember like Kyrie said something about like getting like racist chants and like people it started this dialogue, and people were like, "Yo, how is it that Boston can be so racist?" But they got like a statue of Bill Russell that they idolize in front of their arena and stuff. It's so crazy.
It's just,
and I'm like, yeah,
it's just a moral fucking debate that's gonna like you'll get some people who are so on one side like, oh yeah, you got to keep a couple tokens around so you don't look as bad, and then you'll get the other side that's like, yes, we're not only did we do this, look at all these other black friends we have. It's like, Jesus Christ. Like, you guys are gonna fight until the end of time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Babe Ruth, this is pretty wild. I'm not gonna lie.
Remember, he had seasons where he had more home runs than teams had home runs. Then teams, every player on their team, all their home runs combined, didn't equal one Babe Ruth. That's not.
You know what that sounds like? Sounds like a weak era. That's what that sounds like. That man was just far ahead of his time. But I'm not gonna lie, 60 home runs is pretty wild. And I'm looking at Barry Bonds, he didn't do that shit until he was on the roids. So I guess Barry Bonds isn't the GOAT. I always thought Barry.
Well, all right. Well, hold on with that. So Barry Bonds before steroids, Hall of Famer, and maybe in the 1% of Hall of Famers, like the best of the best. But he of course wasn't Babe Ruth. Barry Bonds on steroids. Listen, if you just have binoculars on and everything, that's the closest the modern day era got to see what Babe Ruth was, right there.
Nah, I'm looking, bro. 73 home run is insane, bro. And he did that shit in just 2 more games than Babe Ruth did in his 60 home run and 164 RBI year.
Dude, his fucking 04 season where he had an on-base percentage of basically 61%. That means if you get to the box, he had a better chance of getting to first base at least than flipping a coin. Like, that's insane. That's insane, dude.
No, I'm looking at it. It was 51. Oh my goodness. I'm actually even looking I'm looking at his average too. Because I know a good batting average is like in the 3.3 or 25% to 30%, right? That's a good batting average. This guy and some of his, what do you say?
Well, I was gonna say, so with that, batting average has taken a real step back in modern day baseball. There's some There's some writers who call it a kiddie pool stat. I think that's just taking it a little too far. I still think batting average has a place in baseball and is a very significant. Like, you show me a player who has a 330 plus batting average, I'll show you a good baseball player. I'm sure his OPS is good and his slugging and all that. But that's the thing. Babe Ruth played in an era where it's like batting average, home runs, RBIs. And even Barry Bonds did too. Like, they didn't play in this modern day era where it's like, no, I'm supposed to do this and this and that. Like, so that's also part of it. Like, Mickey Mantle, one of the negative things about Mickey Mantle's career is that he ended his career right under 300. They played in a league where batting average was the stat. So I'm sure if they were born in today's MLB, they would be like, all right, it doesn't matter if I have a 250 average as long as I'm getting on base and I'm hitting home runs and my OPS is high.
That makes sense.
It's just different.
So it's almost like how today the 3-point shot.
Yeah, dude, it's 3-point shot. It's analytics. It's all that. That's why when you're comparing past players outside of the whole not letting people in, based off the race, when you're comparing past players, you really just
facts.
You can only compare the era they were in. In a way, it was a different sport.
Mm-hmm. Hey, to everybody that ever watches this episode and here's the baseball portion, yes, I know I'm a casual baseball fan, so don't take everything I'm saying serious here, because I really want to get into baseball more. And I will say the last time I watched games was when that Ohtani kid was going off, because he was really good when I was watching. Like, anytime I watched, this guy was killing it as a pitcher, killing it as a batter, or I should say hitter, killing it as a outfielder and all that. And like, I can't believe Stephen A. Smith said that dumbass shit about him, him needing to speak English. That was so lame.
That's all. The two groups of people that watch that show are either watching it for entertainment or they're retarded. You're not getting actual sports knowledge from watching those shows. Before we go, I would say that the two, if you want to get into baseball, I think the two things that would help anyone is, one, go to a game with like a group of friends. It's so chill. Like, compared to the other sports, it's so chill. It's like you're at a picnic in a way, and then there's baseball.
By the way, the Astros are going to win the World Series next year. I just wanted to...
Yeah, well, they lost it last year, didn't they?
Hey, we're gonna make it again. Hey, we've gone to the World Series, I want to say like 3 times in the last 5-6 years, and we've lost 2 out of the last. We've lost 2 out of the last 3.
They've had a great run, and obviously,
we're gonna keep having a great run.
I was actually giving you a compliment. Ease up.
Hey man, I hear the shade. Yes, we cheated. Okay, I get it. We cheated. You're a Yankees fan. Y'all hate us.
First off, who said I was a Yankees fan? Did I say that?
Oh, hey, you from New York. Why would you? Are you a Mets fan?
No, I am a Yankees fan. I just didn't know I said it.
I was gonna say, if you're from New York, you gotta be a Yankee.
No. Yankees fans have to stop bitching because they're acting like fucking their era of winning championships as if players weren't taking steroids 24/7, as if A-Rod didn't exist or something on their fucking team, and Andy Pettitte. It's like, dude, like, listen, they were cheating to steal signs. Everyone does it. It's like, what the fuck?
I know the Astros got caught doing that,
but it was funny though. The trash can memes and the beepers as if they're in a casino. It's like,
now I can't lie, man. Like when we won the World Series, I was actually mad because I couldn't go to the parade. I was at school at the time, and I remember, like it came out that they cheated, and I was like, "Oh my god, are you serious? They actually cheated!" And then like they did the investigation, and it was proven true that they cheated. And I was like, "Oh my god, we gotta win again because if we don't win,
yeah." See, that's the thing; they haven't won ever since the scandal, in a way, and it's just, but like they've already proven it. The fact that they went to 2 World Series since that 2017 year. The team's great, and I hate them. I hate them because they're a bunch of hot dogs. They fucking gloat like no other. But and yes, they are a better team than the team I root for. But they're an amazing team. And what I was gonna say is they're 1 championship away or 2 away from like legitimately having a dynasty, which is something no one in baseball can say since the late '90s Yankees.
Yeah, like Jose Altuve. I know he's like a player. We've just, I don't know. And look, like I said, I'm not a baseball maybe fanatic. You said the Giants?
No, I was just thinking because the Giants won 3 World Series in 5 years, but they literally never. They won a World Series. Next year didn't make the playoffs. Next year won a World Series. Next year didn't make the playoffs. And then the next year they won a World Series. It was it's the craziest shit.
That's pretty weird.
It's weird, and that's why some people, I can totally understand not considering them a dynasty. But I mean, 3 World Series in 5 years, it's hard.
Yeah, that sounds, that on paper is a dynasty, but like,
right?
I couldn't imagine the Warriors winning a championship, then not making the playoffs, then winning the championship, then not making the playoffs, then winning a championship again.
Yeah, think about it like Tim Duncan's career. They never won back-to-back NBA finals with him. You know,
but they were a dynasty though, because I think they did win 3 in 5 years. I think so. They did win 3 of 5.
Did they?
It was, I think, yeah, it was 2002, 2003, or no, 2002, 2005, 2007. Right? No,
I'm gonna look it up real quick. I keep saying like, "Hey man, it was great talking to you," and then we just get
my fault.
No, dude, it's cool. Hold on. I always use a basketball, I think it was baseball reference.
03, 05, 07. Because 03, a year after Shaq and Kobe. 05 versus the Pistons, and then 07 versus LeBron and the Cavs.
Oh yeah, wait, you're right. 03, 05, and you're 100%. Look at you, dude. You love and even before that, you could say since they won in '99, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 4 and 8 years.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about.
That is crazy.
And then after 07, it took them like 7 years or 6 years just to go back to the finals, and then they won the second time.
Remember though when they should have beat the Heat the first time they played in the finals, and fucking Ray Allen, dude, they were already getting the tape around the court to celebrate.
Yeah, and I remember people don't even talk about this. But I don't know if you've ever realized, but Tim Duncan, if Ray Allen doesn't make that shot, Tim Duncan is 6-0 in the finals.
He has 5. I thought he went to 7 finals. He went to only.
No, he only went to 6, and he's only lost 1.
It was Kobe who went to 7 and lost 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
And people also forget, like, on that play, Popovich made a mistake. He took Tim Duncan out the game.
Yes.
And then Bosh got that rebound.
Yes.
And it's crazy. That mistake, it changes so much of history, because if Bosh, or if Duncan is in the game and he gets the rebound, they win that series. And then the Heat only win one championship.
With
LeBron
the
probably
three.
leaves. With the big three, they go 1-2. LeBron is probably out of there, or somebody gets traded. And Duncan is probably going to go 6-0. And if Duncan goes 6-0,
he's talked about like Michael in a way.
He gets that Jordan rub in a way.
And not
He
only,
wouldn't be the GOAT, but he'd be up there even higher.
And not only that, man, and this is no knock against Popovich, but first off, David Robinson never didn't win anything until Duncan got on the team. And Popovich, again, nothing against Popovich, but never won anything without Duncan. And it's not like the Spurs teams he's coached in the past couple of years have been some like 50+ win teams. They've been kind of.
I think I'm gonna be honest. I think Popovich is a little overrated, and I think Popovich is the greatest coach of all time. Him or Phil, you got to pick either one of them. But I think the reason
Pat Riley, who I'm so stupid. Who am I forgetting? From
him, Phil, Riley. I guess you could throw the segregation era of Starbucks.
Oh my God!
I'm just saying, Auerbach. I said Starbucks. Auerbach.
Yeah, duh. I was
thinking of football.
Yeah, there you go.
But the thing with Pop is like people forget that in the beginning, Pop was not the guy he became later on. And in the beginning, Duncan kind of carried them. And even like the second championship they won, Ginobili was a rookie and wasn't that good, which is expected. He's a rookie. And then Tony Parker was a sophomore and didn't play that well in the playoffs either. And then David Robinson was his last year in the NBA. So like people forget Duncan.
I think he had a couple more years after that.
No, not the first ring. The second ring they won.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because he was way out of his prime by then. And even the first ring, Robinson was not the same anymore.
He wasn't the same, but he was definitely, I would say, the number 2 player on that team.
For sure, he was.
Duncan, yeah.
It's just like after like in '99, he like that injury really took a lot of a toll on him. If he didn't get hurt, I ain't gonna lie, they would have been even more scary for a couple more years.
And I think this is why where you're judging players and teams, you have to judge their careers, because we were just talking about best coaches, and one name comes to my mind that no one brings up, and I think Larry Johnson. Because this is a man who is the only basketball coach ever to win an NCAA championship and an NBA title. No other coach has done it. And, coaches have gone from college to pros or pros to or not Larry Johnson. What am I saying?
Oh, no. You're talking about Larry Brown?
Larry Brown or fucking Larry Johnson. I'm an idiot. Larry Brown from the fucking Pistons. Yes. But he also has coached a bazillion teams. Like when he takes a job,
he also won in the ABA too, if I'm not mistaken.
Are you serious?
As like a player, not like a coach.
Oh, I was gonna be like, wait, hold on. How old was he?
Yeah, he was the ABA champion as a player.
The thing about Larry Brown, the second he takes the job somewhere, he's already looking for his next job. Like he can't wait to leave the team, and he's got a weird personality, it seems like. But dude, that mind of his is.
And him and what's his name hated each other. Iverson. Him and Iverson were not good friends at all. Well, I wouldn't say they hated each other, but they were not. They weren't as close as the coach and superstar should be.
It's kind of like Carl and Melo.
Yeah, they did not like each other. George Karl went in on that dude in the book.
But that's another guy who's a great coach. It's just you have to judge it based off the career they had. It's like, listen, man, fucking Phil won 11 rings. Pat Riley coached the Knicks and the Lakers, and then was an executive with the Heat. Popovich had a dynasty, you could say, with the Spurs. It's just you have to judge their careers. Like Andrew Luck, what could have been? It's like, well, what was he? This is what his career is. Map it out to everyone else's career.
Exactly. Because if we're doing shoulda, coulda, wouldas, then Len Bias might be the GOAT.
Yeah, dude, there you go. And he never got to play.
Yeah, real sad story, honestly.
Yeah, and he could have played. That could have elongated Larry Bird's career. When he was getting old and tired, you could have had Len Bias scoring 25 points a night for you.
And people forget, like, he was supposed to be like Jordan's rival.
He was.
If we're being real.
The NBA would have loved that, because you would have had another Bird Magic. You would have had Jordan bias.
And not to be fair, I think it worked out for the NBA anyway, because you're not saying there it's a good thing he died, but like it worked out for the NBA regardless, because Jordan just became this larger than life guy and took them to new heights financially.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
Face.
It's like they were able, like Larry, you needed Larry and Magic in a way. It was black player, white player, Celtics league, or, blue collar, white collar kind of thing.
I'm so glad you said that, because so many people deny that Larry Bird being white helped that feud. Like it's so obvious that him being white was a big deal in that.
Who the fuck is saying like that? Like it's what? That's clearly part of it, and like it or not, that's part of it.
And that's not a bad thing, because like that helped. It was just like a nice. Nobody ever saw that before, like a white player and a black player, because the league was becoming predominantly black already, and like Larry Bird just came out of nowhere as this arguably the best player in the league. Man won 3 straight MVPs. We're probably never going to see that again because of stupid voter fatigue in the NBA, but it's just crazy to think about. Honestly, they saved the league. The league was dying before they came and did what they did.
No, they did, and then it was like, all right, we saved it. And it's like, all right, yeah, but we're about to drop this new hot album called Michael Jordan, and it's this shit's gonna whoosh, like that. Just crazy the way the NBA's gone. Dude, man, holy shit!
How long was this so far,
bro? This is almost a 3-hour episode.
Oh wow, I'm sorry about that.
No, what do you want, dude? This was I love sports, so this was really cool, man. Shit. Thanks for coming on, bro. Like,
yeah, no problem. I'd love to come back. This was a great episode.
Oh yeah, definitely. Number 1 episode, man. Fuck all the other guests, right?
Nah, I'm sure you've had some amazing guests though. I'm sure they've all.
I gotta admit, I've so far liked talking to all my guests, but obviously, like talking about sports, man, I can do that for hours.
Yeah, same. Whenever we have our pod, I'm gonna definitely recommend you to my co-host, because this is a great episode for real.
Dude, hell yeah. I would love to be a guest anytime. Hit me up. Do you have any social media where you have DMs, or is just email with you?
Yeah, you can you can find me on all my social media is the same. It's just Young Mustard 23.
All right, then yeah, dude. Again, cool as hell, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. I love this episode. It was amazing. Great talk for real.
Great talk. The 50% of the guest on this episode, he just said it. He was better than all the other prior guests.
Hey man, I'm just like I am better than everybody. I'm just that guy. Not because I'm Young Mustard, but because I'm just a better person than everybody. I got that kind of love. Give like
sodas
that.
Out for only 75 cents on the dollar.
Yeah, I help the poor. Let me chill out.
And fuck Michelle for McDonald's.